Hey guys, Jackson here, jumping in at the very start of this episode just to let you know that there are going to be a lot of bleeps in this episode, a lot of censoring in these episodes on YouTube now for Criminally Stupid. And that is because YouTube are idiots, stupid giant idiots that you don't know how to enforce their policies correctly. They use automated systems. So, you know what? That's on YouTube. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We've got bleeps in here now. It's to avoid strikes. If you want the uncensored videos, you can go to our official.men membership platform, 7-day free trial. You get uncensored stuff over there, as well as on our Spotify and iTunes. Those platforms are all cool with us making fun of pedophiles, because of course they are. They're pedophiles. I mean, they're not pedophiles. The people we're making fun of are pedophiles. So yeah, I don't know why YouTube runs defense, but they do run defense on pedophiles for some reason. So go over there if you want the uncensored stuff. Don't complain to us because there's bleeps and censorship in these episodes on YouTube now. It is all YouTube's fault. They were going to delete our channel if we didn't start doing this, so we have to censor stuff. If you want the uncensored, official.men 7-day free trial, or our Spotify and iTunes and like that, you can find it linked below. Thanks, guys. Welcome to Criminally Stupid, episode 47, I think it is. 47, yes it is. This week we're covering Jean-Pierre Wary for a third time, and this time we're diving into his book called In for Life, Confessions of a Three Strikes Prisoner. And you might notice I'm holding it up for the webcam right now for visual listeners. Or audio listeners, I mean. I'm holding up his book right now. You might notice it's by a man named Damien Lartigue. This is actually a pseudonym, a pen name, much like how J.K. Rowling and Stephen King would go by pseudonyms. So too did the literary great Jean-Pierre Wary. So that's why it flew under the radar and didn't hit the bestseller list, I guess. Very, very interesting. I've read through 200 pages of it through the entire first act. So I have I've compiled all of the interesting parts to the first act of this book. Yeah, Kaya, hello, welcome.
Hi. Did you take a bunch of notes, like the earmark the pages, like bend them a little to find your spot?
Well, not really. I just put marker all throughout the book. I did not treat it with respect. It's just there's like red kind of just like scribbles all over the book where I like wanted to take notes from. My notes were basically just like writing out each paragraph that I thought was funny. So it was a lot of typing. There's about 15 pages of Google document here of paragraphs that I've
Why didn't you just
taken.
OCR it? Just take a photo and copy the text.
Yeah, that would have been smart. Thank you. I wish you told me that 4 days ago. Sweet. I thought I was thinking while I was typing it out, there's got to be an easy way to do this. I don't know why I didn't just ask you. Cool. Oh, well. Doesn't matter.
Did you do the thing where you're like, did you read it in public but shake your head so everybody would know?
So everyone knew that I
Yeah.
didn't agree with the Damien Lartigue, the Confessions of a Three-Strike Prisoner.
They would just think you disagree with the three strikes law.
I wish this guy was free. No, it was a very interesting read. I'm glad that I read it because it was an interesting insight into an absolutely insane man rationalizing his life. So I'm very excited to get into it. For those of you who don't know, well, we've got two parts going over Jean-Pierre Wary, but he was a TCAP predator who, got busted in the sting operation. And then while he's in prison, he's written this book, which is why I'm reading it. So this has been confirmed as, Damien Lartigue has been confirmed as being Jean-Pierre Wary because of a YouTuber, Joey TCAP, which, Kaya, you know Joey TCAP now. You found out that he messaged you 2 years ago. Not to throw him under the bus or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad now because I saw that he did message us or me on Twitter 2 years ago. Joey, if you ever do hear this, you're more than welcome to come on a show and do pedo voices with us. I'm surprised this guy didn't pick the name that he made up to Chris in the last episode when we were watching the clips. What was it, like Jordan Peterson?
Joey Peterson? Well, I think he assumed that he was speaking to law enforcement at that point, so he knew that he was like there would be no point lying about his identity, but he could still lie about like why he was there and stuff.
Yeah, John Pedersen, I think.
Yeah, John Pedersen, Pedersen, because he still put pedophile in the fucking name of the guy that he was talking to. Because you know when you like try to come up with something on the spot, but like stuff's going through your head, so you're like you insert it into the thing you're talking about accidentally. Mm-hmm. All that was going through his head is don't say pedophile, don't say pedophile, don't say pedophile. John fuck. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But Joe Teacup used to call Wary while he was in prison, where he would interview him about his life, the sting operation in the book. Jean-Pierre Wary came to think of Joey as a friend, so much so that he sent Joey an assortment of files pertaining to his case, including the unreleased chat log, which we read through on the previous episode.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, Joey's a credible figure. He tells the truth. Joey's an honest, hardworking American man. So we have no reason to, not believe him when he says that Jean-Pierre Wary was the writer of this book, which is what he says. He said he talked to Jean-Pierre Wary, and he admitted to being Damien Latigue or whatever. Plus, the similarities are too similar. Like the stories that he talks about in the book, like line up perfectly to his existence. So, yeah, I'm 100% sure that it's him. So we're going to read through these different elements of this book, the different parts of this book. We'll take it turn by turn, basically, Kaya. He can't sue us for basically reading a majority of his book out loud, right?
No, people have done that on their Patreons, I'm well aware. People have like literally played through. My buddy Carl on his show, his Patreon, he goes through every chapter of an audiobook and just commentates on it, and the guy has tried to get him in trouble for it, but they can't. Like, you just have to take it at some point. It's commentary. It is commentary, because I think it would be maybe copyright violation if you just did a straight up reading of it, like an audiobook, and sold that I would get. Right. But obviously we're just going to be stopping every sentence to make fun of this dope.
Yeah, well,
that is
there's a lot of paragraphs here, but yeah, there's enough here to make it free use. Oh, wait, free use? That's porn.
Okay.
Not free use.
I know what's on your mind. I like
where this is going. Yeah, I just did the fucking Pedersen thing. Free use.
All
right, so you can take the first part here. So this is taken from the foreword. I've been comprehensive here. I've included a lot of stuff. I thought it was all interesting and it should be pretty funny. This is the foreword. So a foreword is like a part of a book right at the beginning. It was written by a man named John B. Cobb Jr., who is actually, if you click on this link, he's actually like, he's got a Wikipedia page. I don't know how he came to know about this book or be involved in it, but he created the foreword of it for some reason. He's a modern and prominent philosopher and theologian. Kind of like he sounds like a douche based off this paragraph that he's written.
He's born in Japan? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a Japanese man. Have you never seen a Japanese man before in your life?
Yes. If you're born in a stable, you're a horse, as we all know. Who the fuck is this? Preeminent scholar in the field of process philosophy.
Well, he's well known for his transdisciplinary approach. He wrote the first single author book in environmental ethics. Is it too late? A theology of ecology.
Theology, ecology, economics, biology, social ethics. That sounds one of those like busybody navel gazing degrees. Like, yes, I'm going to do my PhD in hugging.
Yeah, he sounds like a forever university person who just stayed in university his entire life.
Because he's like leering on the 18-year-old girls. Yeah. Or boys. All right.
Read the...
so he wrote this.
It's called. Yeah. Everything in quotation marks. Everything else now is written by the people involved in this book.
All right. This book is written by a victim of California's three strikes law. His third offense, quote unquote, which was largely a misunderstanding, demanded a sentence of 25 years to life. He is certainly no danger to society. The state goes to great expense to confine him. Certainly no danger to society, this guy who showed up to a child's house, by the way.
What gave you that impression, John B. Cobb Jr., just because this guy said, no, I didn't, it's a misunderstanding. I didn't want to a child. And
Right.
Meanwhile, he's done it 2 other times. Yeah, okay.
This is called, quote unquote, justice.
Yes, it is. You smarmy motherfucker. It is justice.
The chief author is not only a prisoner, but also a lay theologian. He thought his way into something like process theology before he encountered other representatives of the movement. Of course, the author tells the story from his own perspective. That is the nature of an autobiography.
Oh my God.
But the resulting distortion for the sake of self-justification is minimal. He does not conceal his sins and failures. His worst crimes, such as his abuse of the friendship of the man who helped him most, are not the ones of which he is imprisoned.
wait, his worst crime, like betraying a friend, is worse than potentially a kid to John B. Cobb Jr.? That's not even remotely, like, accurate.
Well, the abuse of his friendship too. What does abuse of a friendship mean here? Like couch surfing?
Well, yeah, no,
For
it
too
just
long?
means like not living up to the standards of a friendship, basically. Like, yeah, basically one of his friends like let him couch surf for a while, and then he didn't like repay the favor, essentially. So I don't. How is that less? How is that worse than fucking a kid or coming very close to fucking a kid?
John, you f***ed my toddler. Oh, man, I'm sorry I abused this friendship.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm such a bad friend.
Yeah. He acknowledges guilt and makes no effort to excuse himself. But he also shows how his story can be, and has been, distorted by others to convict him of crimes of which he is not guilty. From this perspective, the quote-unquote justice system does not look very just. His experience is being arrested and convicted and then being released and left to his own devices with nothing but a bad record are almost worse than his life in prison itself. One feels the urge to cry out a demand to reform the system that is obviously constructed so as to fail. From the beginning of the book, we are introduced to a boy with Asperger's, an absent mother, and an abusive father. It's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
That the boy ended up a criminal.
It's everyone else's fault that this guy betrayed his friendships, which is the worst crime, don't forget.
Yeah, my mommy didn't love me enough. That's why I have to go in a 13-year-old now. Fuck you. That the boy ended up with a criminal record does not surprise us. What is surprising is the extent to which he transcended his condition and his situation. He knows that Asperger's has denied him the ability to read the emotional response of others. He tries to learn from experience, what he does not sense directly. He was and is a thoughtful and committed Christian, one who, like the rest of us, remains a sinner. He has sometimes felt that, being in prison, there is little that he can contribute. But, I mean, he wasn't contributing anything outside of prison either.
Yeah, he was arrested and charged with felonies 3 different times. I mean, he had his chance. Like, what do you want? This isn't the system failing. Like, this is pretty clear cut.
Like, criminals not contributing is the best case scenario for the rest of us, actually, because when they're out in society, if anything, they're like a drain on us. But one senses that he has contributed and is contributing quite a lot to a good many people. This book may prove to be his greatest contribution of all. Well, quote. I guess. End quote. Yeah.
I mean, it is a contribution to me laughing a lot, so that was nice of him. But
hopefully,
yeah, this is such like a academics outlook on this whole situation. Like, oh, the prison system's so barbaric. It's like, dude, he tried to f a kid.
A fake academic too. Like, you can tell he wrote from his prison computer to this guy and said, "Oh, Mr. Cobb, your disciplinary, whatever the fuck, PhD in nonsensology. I have read your work and it's such brilliant material. And this guy was like, oh, yes, finally, someone's recognizing my genius. In prison. He must truly be one of us.
Mm.
They're just fucking puffing each other's egos.
Yeah, or hear me out. This wasn't actually written by John B. Cobb, and this pedophile just found a random theologian online and attributed it to it.
Yeah, someone too old to defend himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's dead now. Let me check. Is John B. Cobb dead?
He died at 99.
Oh, yeah, last year. Rough. I don't remember when this was published, actually.
Let's look at some choice quotes here. This is still John B. Cobb. The sustainable alternative is one which is smaller. Is one in which smaller and smaller regions produce more and more of the goods they need to closer to where they are consumed. The economics will contribute little to the greenhouse effect and will survive the exhaustion of oil. Okay.
Now, what's his opinion on child?
Yeah, what the fuck does one have to do with the other?
Yeah. Is there any quotes in there about the prison system? Like, how is he even related to this? Regardless, the book, by the way, was published in 2017, so it did come out before his death. So we then come to the secondary author, or perhaps the primary translator more so of the book, a man named Eric W. Sen. I couldn't find much information about this figure. I tried. I looked online a lot. Couldn't find anything about him other than he was the main creator of the autobiography. The preface of the book, from the perspective of Eric, explains, quote, in late 2012, a man I barely knew approached me at a Celebrate Recovery meeting, and my first impression of this person was entirely wrong. I had believed him to be embarrassingly awkward, perhaps suffering from mental retardation, as well as having really poor taste in clothes. Looking back now, at least I got the clothing part right, but this man was anything but unskillful. Damien had learned that I'd made some success at getting my stories published, so he told me that he'd written something about his life and needed help getting it ready to be submitted to literary agents. Normally, I'm a rather sarcastic person, if you couldn't tell this about me already. Yet what Damien handed me that day was horrendously inconsistent, and I'm trying to be as polite as possible. Even though he referred to these 310 pages as a manuscript, I found it difficult to even consider it a rough draft. There were just too many incomplete sentences, grammatical errors, and conversations between unnamed parties for any reader to follow along smoothly. I'm not saying that I do not make mistakes, nor that every manuscript has to be absolutely perfect before being sent in for consideration, but Damien had 4 distinctly different characters, all named Steve.
He is retarded. Oh my god.
All right.
So hold on, I have to look up what Celebrate Recovery is. Is this like a Pedophiles Anonymous type thing?
No, I think it's just substance abuse. I think it's just any kind of addiction, really. But yeah, it was probably like court mandated, and that's where they met. But also, he ends up being his cellmate, this guy. So this Eric W. Sen guy ends up being his cellmate during his third sentence, the sentence that he's currently in. So Damien would like give him manuscript pages and stuff like that, and then Eric would compile them together and rewrite them or whatever. Again, I don't know why Eric is in there or anything like that.
While negging him, by the way, like, yeah, it made no sense at all, and he calls it his manifesto. It was really creepy, and he smelled of urine too.
Well, no, he actually compliments him a lot to like ridiculous degrees. Like everyone kind of treats him as this idiot savant, kind of like a what do you call it? Like a Rain Man kind of figure, I guess.
Yeah, he's like
they
Rain
all think
Man,
he's a genius.
retarded.
Eric continues. I am hopeful that each reader of this book will agree with me that this story goes beyond just the biography of one person's troubled childhood and lack of support during adolescence. What happened to this young boy was indeed a nightmare. The ongoing obstacles were at times subjective, at other times voluntary. However, this misjudgments during Damien's growth came more from a lack of knowledge and parental guidance than from deliberate ignorance or disobedience, as many believes. Damien also has offered within these heavily edited pages positive suggestions towards prison sentencing reform. Yeah, of course the prisoner wants prison sentencing reform.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Replacing years of confinement with prerequisites towards release. He got released 2 other times. He's had his chances. Currently, most state prisons only incarcerate criminals.
Yeah, I like how the premise for the entire book, by the way, is 3 chances isn't enough.
Yeah, give me another one.
Fuck?
This time I'll do better. But can I reread that sentence? Currently, most state prisons only incarcerate criminals. Who else would they incarcerate? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
And that makes them older, not safer. Yeah, what does that mean?
Currently, most state prisons only incarcerate criminals.
No, I think you're supposed to read it as currently most state prisons only incarcerate criminals rather than, rehabilitating them with hugs and kisses and free money.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then. Yeah. And that makes the criminals older and not safer because it doesn't teach them anything. Okay. But them being older is actually kind of safer in a way because I'd rather deal with a 99-year-old pedophile than a 25-year-old pedophile, for example.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm fine with that. Instead of sending bad guys to play handball or basketball for 5 or more years, our legislature should replace the word years with reformative programs such as completing 5 or more mandatory classes in order to be paroled.
Why? How's that going to help? Fucking what's his face here? John Cobb took plenty of classes, it sounds like, all the way until he was 99, and he was still a fucking creep writing creepy forewords for pedos. Like, what is the idea that you're gonna, like, take Calculus 1 and it's gonna cure you of wanting to bash old Asian ladies' skulls in for her purse? Like, that doesn't change anything. I don't get this. Where does this come from? Who started this idea that, like, education cures psychopathy? That's not a thing.
I think it's women. I think it's people with empathy.
It has to be, right? Like Pibby mommies. Like where they cry about El Salvador and shit, and they're like, just let them out, just give them education. Like, lady, it's a cartel member. You can't like make him read Dostoevsky and have him come out like, oh, I understand now. Skinning humans alive
Thanks
is
for giving
bad.
me a chance. Yeah, they had plenty of chances. Also, I just saw a video actually yesterday of a police officer, and I think it was Ireland, getting stabbed by some extremists on the street or whatever, and they detain him obviously and start like hitting him on the ground because he just stabbed them a bunch. Like the other police officer is like bleeding out on the ground basically,
and
then some woman runs it. Yeah, some woman rushes in and tries to stop the police officer. It's like, Jesus Christ!
What the fuck? Every time there's a news article of like a pit bull mauling a baby to death, there's like the comment section is, no, the poor thing. You shouldn't judge the breed by it. It's like, lady, just like you cannot teach a pit bull like vector multiplication, right? To make it stop being a dog. It's just in their nature. And these guys,
we're not even talking about like eugenics here or anything like that. Like, it's just he was in the active process of stabbing them. Like, why? It's so stupid. It's so, like no self-preservation or no like. It's just ruled by this stupid idea of empathy for some reason, which is just counterintuitive to your own survival.
It's toxic empathy. Yeah. But also, the issue is that guys like this hijack that. They see that vulnerability in society, that flaw, that bug, that glitch, and they're like...
And like viruses.
Yeah, like, what if I took some remedial English classes and maybe I stopped being a pedophile? And then he gets out of kids again.
That's empathy, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also just they say like instead of sending guys to play handball or basketball for 5 or more years, like even in their own like prison's so bad, they make it sound fun. You just sit around playing basketball for 5 years.
That's what I was thinking. Like, isn't that
okay?
Right
maybe
like,
maybe we should reform this to get rid of basketball and handball. I don't want that for the pedophiles. They should be in fucking cells the entire time.
Yeah, they should be going on a carnival cruise.
Their idea of reform prison is we want like slides and a merry-go-round or something.
Ice cream for dinner.
All right, he continues. Regrettably, I also experienced the lifestyle and conditions of state imprisonment for several months after being unable to exonerate myself from a false accusation. So again, this is from the cellmate, not Damien Latrigue or John Pierre Wary at the moment. This is the cellmate who compiled everything. So he's like, I was unable to exonerate myself from a false accusation. Yeah, all right, buddy. From what I saw, inmates only matured physically, not mentally. There was almost zero behavioral modifications, nor was there any encouragement, outside of general education classes and of religion, offered to prisoners, no earnest rewards for good behavior, for being disciplinary free, or for showing the desire to better were inspiring prisoners to do so. Very few other forms of rehabilitation went on within those walls and electric fences. This situation upset both Damien and myself quite a bit, both as taxpayers and as human beings. He's not a human being. He's a pedophile. Changes desperately need to be made.
He's also not a taxpayer. He's an inmate. What taxes? What is he talking about?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he never like held a job throughout the entire like first act that I read.
I can't believe my taxes are going to keeping us in prison.
He was a homeless. He was a homeless bus rider, from what I remember in the episode.
Yeah.
What taxes does he pay?
You said this is Eric, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Eric. I guess
speaking for both of them, I
taxpayer.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he's speaking for both of them though. Changes desperately need to be made. There are just too many good people in prison. Yeah, okay. People who simply need reassurance and civil training. End quote. Oh my god. All right, so now we come to the actual book. Now that we got the foreword and the introduction out of the way, so basically the rest of this is Damien's life. The book is cut into 3 parts, over 57 chapters and 440 pages. Part 1 is aptly titled "First Missteps," and it's after reading. I've only read the first part, just putting that out there, and it is already a wild ass ride full of just fucking nonsense and insane moments. I messaged Kaya several times talking about how fucking weird this shit is. And that was only part 1, which was just titled First Misstep. So I don't know how fucking insane it gets. Part 2 was titled Divine Detours, and part 3, Poor Navigation. I've got a list of chapter names here to give an idea of the content of the book. Kaya, if you'd like to read them out.
A Child's Hell, Strive, Achieve, Excel, The Road to Recovery, Detours to Adulthood, Making House Calls. Ew. Oops, I did it again. Do time. Don't let time do you. Screwing the pooch. 2 loves develop. A good old boy and a country girl. Ever increasing excrement. Returning to what works. Celebrating my recovery. Man, even just from the titles, you can tell that this is a retard. Eating my booger. Stubbing my toe.
It's a retard who wrote 450 pages about his life. It's kind of impressive in its own way.
No, a retard who wrote like 300 of them, and then another retard took it and compiled it into an actual like book. So this is the brainchild of like two
retards.
Yeah, like an incestuous AI. Like retard GPT feeding it to Groctard. And they spat this out.
All right. So now we're going to read from the book. Part 1, First Missteps. Chapter 1, Beginning. Take it away. Oh, wait. Sorry, real quick before we start. We won't be covering everything in the book as there isn't enough time to do so. Mostly taking excerpts from random parts of the book. The first act, anyway, from what I've read. If you want more, let us know if you find it fun. All right. Take it away, Kyle.
Chapter 1, Beginnings. Damien was born in the mountains of northern Washington, not far from the Olympic Range, and was given a name that he no longer wears, Damien Sheldon. He lived in these mountains throughout his youth. It should be noted that those years deeply affected him. Damien became a part of the mountain, and they became a part of his being. He was born a blonde-haired, blue-eyed country boy, and he'll die one.
What is so fucking gay?
Yeah. He became part of the mountain.
He's writing like he's a country star or something instead of a pedophile, convicted 3-time pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I laughed while reading it, that's what I took basically. So there's a lot.
In the month of November 1960, a number of events were occurring at the same time. What a great sentence. A number of events were occurring at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really say much.
Take that out, editor. Not that Damien can recall such things from his early youth. Okay. Like the fact that his biological father skipped out on his mother and him before Damien was even 18 months old, or that his mom had that marriage annulled, or, for that matter, the fact that his mom met and quickly married Mr. Arthur H. Collins, mostly out of convenience and lust. All of these events occurred before Damien was 2.5 years of age.
Okay, so it's not even really relevant. And also, these aren't like his biological father skipping out and their marriage like being annulled or whatever. It's not like some rare occasion that whenever it happens, it leads to a pedophile being born. It's not like that's that out of the realm of normalcy.
Yeah, am I supposed to be raising my hand here? Yeah, my dad skipped out on my mom too. Like, what the fuck? Who is Arthur H. Collins?
Well, the guy that his mum married after that.
Why does he name drop him like anybody's supposed to know? Who the fuck is Arthur H. Collins?
He's a very famous individual at the time.
Is it the author's symbolism of animals and birds? Oh, represented in English church architecture. It could be.
It's not anyone. No, it's not. It's just some random dude.
You don't know that. If he's name dropping him, look, this is like a religious guy. He might be trying to, like, my mom fucked a religious man. All
right, let's continue on.
As things settled down in the household, Grandpa sat down with Mr. Collins and Damien. So, Art, what plans do you have for little Damien? Are you planning to take him with you or let him stay here? The seasoned carpenter asked. Explaining the situation, Arthur asked, Could you folks keep an eye on the 4 of them? I'll need some time to get our place ready for 3 children. As you all know, we weren't expecting the 3rd. And Damien, with his problems...
So they're talking about just leaving Damien, leaving the pedophile just at their grandparents and just taking the 3 other kids. So he's painting a picture here about how his parents didn't want him. Shouldn't we feel sad for him?
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2, A Child's Hell. At first, I was glad to go to school. For one thing, it got me out of the house. Boy, was I ever wrong. Neither the kid. Oh, you'll notice this. He says boy a lot. He says like, boy, was I ever wrong, or boy, that happened. He said it in the he said it in the fucking show as well. I'm pretty sure he was saying it during his interview. He said boy at some point, I think, like that. Neither the kids my age nor the teachers were willing to communicate with them. I felt as if I was constantly having to yell at them. I probably was. It wasn't that Damien wouldn't listen to his teachers. No, he could not process the information like his classmates could. Damien operated at a much slower pace. His instructors labeled him as having a learning disability, while his fellow students cruelly recognized it as retardation and called him as such. The other students at his elementary school...
I am so confused. Hold on. From whose perspective is this written right now? Who's the narrator? Because it goes from I to talking about Damien.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I didn't put a rogue.
Oh, hold on. Markers. Yeah, you missed there's supposed to be a quote at the very beginning here.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah, that's gotta be, yeah.
I was so confused. All right. That makes way more sense.
My bad. The other students at his elementary school and later at his middle school teased him mercilessly, oftentimes violently, bullying Damien seemingly without end. Then came Steve. Steve was a slightly older African-American boy of 13 who was homeschooled. I knew you were gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at a lot of this. Steve met Damien and took a shine to the quirky boy. That is to say, Steve liked Damien and his idiosyncrasies. And this is a quote from Damien. I'd met a boy who was a bit older than I was, and he took it on his own to walk with me to and from school, and that made me well pleased. End quote. Quote. Stephen was not what Mum was expecting in friends, as he was nearly 14 years old and half black. That made her nervous, to say the least, but she allowed it. For the time being, she ignored what my dad would say about my first friend. Arthur didn't care about Steve's age. However, Steve being partly African-American meant that, as far as Dad was concerned, Steve was an N-word. End quote. Miss Linda got the attention of... so we jump forward a little bit now, just for some... context. Steve ended up inviting Damien. Basically, he felt sorry for him and invited him to join like an after-school care, like developmental class, I guess, to learn like tailoring or something. It was some weird process, but anyway. And then he started. What happened was that Damien would just constantly rock back and forth on the floor whenever he was confronted by anyone. So he went. It's funny because obviously in hindsight, this guy turned out to be a pedophile, so I don't feel bad laughing about this. But yeah, so he was bullied at this after school class or whatever, and he got on the floor and started rocking back and forth, crying or whatever. So we continue. Miss Linda got the attention of Steve by saying, quote, I love your huge heart and desire to help young Damien, but I don't think that this is a good idea to bring him here to be a part of 4-H. He's still rocking over there. End quote.
Take the retard home.
Approaching Damien, Steve asked, how are you, DC? Hearing Steve's voice, or perhaps just knowing that his friend was there, Damien regained his sense of safety, and with that, he was able to stop his rocking. Willfully, Damien turned his attention in Steve's direction, although it took nearly a minute until Damien could manage a single word to affirm Steve's question or make any actual eye contact. Quote, "Hey, Steve, DC is good." It's
DC. He goes by DC.
Yeah, he goes by DC. Damien, I don't remember the last name. Collins, Damien Collins.
Oh. Okay, well, so education wasn't helping him, is the point.
No.
So if you took this asshole in prison and put him in like fucking shop class, he'd just be rocking on the floor again as the other inmates bully him. They're like, hey, look, there comes DC. Chapter 3, Yelling, Shots Fired, Family Illness. As Martin aged, who's Martin?
No clue now. I don't remember now.
As Martin aged, it became apparent that he suffered from mild retardation or deficiency. This greatly troubled Damien's parents, who believed that Martin's condition would parallel Damien's own sociological disorder.
Oh, right. Martin was his brother, his younger brother.
Yeah. They were starting to believe that their family was cursed. Quote, "My parents thought that Martin would suffer the exact same set of developmental problems that I had." Oh, we're talking, okay. This is a pedo, I think. "This was something they never accepted. Did my family have a curse? Well, in a way, we were cursed, but for entirely different reasons." I mean, it's kind of the same reason. Curse is a curse.
Cursed to be pedophiles instead.
Yeah. Which is actually worse, yeah, I suppose.
He ended every chapter like that. It was like always left on a cliffhanger like, well, actually, we were cursed, but not for the reasons you might suspect, reader.
He was hoping for a screen adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it genuinely does feel like a pedophile's version of like Forrest Gump or something. Like he saw like the popular movies at the time. And he's like, my life was exactly like that.
Yeah, bullied from the beginning. Isn't that how the horror movies always start anyway, with the kids getting bullied in the beginning and then they develop like psychic demon powers and shit?
Yeah.
Start killing animals. Chapter 4, Friend or Foe. Steve invited me to hang out with him and a new friend, Nathan, after school the next day. I'd accepted the offer to hang out with the two of them. When Damien first met Nathan, due to the similarities in both older boys' skin tone and facial features, he'd believed the two teenagers to be related. Not brothers, but perhaps cousins.
They were both black, so he thought they were family.
You know, the like racist trope of like, this guy could travel to Africa and be like, hey, do you know Steve? Like to a random black person.
Exactly.
Like, you all know each other, right? The three boys entered the mostly vacant park, and although Damien's first impulse was to rush towards the swing set to reserve a pair of them, the more mature teens headed directly towards the park's public restroom. I remember saying that I didn't have to go, but Steve urged me inside the boys' room, saying that there's something he wanted to show me. Before I knew it, and much to my surprise, Steve reached out of his hand and touched my Nathan joined him, making me feel very uncomfortable and causing me to freeze in my tracks. I still called it my wiener back then, while the older boys called it my. This uncomfortable feeling started to fade away and was replaced with a hint of pleasure. However, I still had a thrust to run away.
Well, okay. Well, there's a little contradiction there. He doesn't run away because he describes it later on in the book, like in different terms, I'm pretty sure. Also, he constantly still calls it his wiener later on in the book as an adult man too. So I don't think he ever stopped calling it his wiener.
How old is he here?
I think he was like, he said he was 8 or 9 here.
This really isn't helping the stereotype of like molesters create molesters.
Yeah, obviously this is not cool. Like it's sad.
Thank you
that this
for
happened.
The hot take.
Yeah. No, but it is like he was molested clearly. Yeah. If this is true, again, I find it pretty hard to believe, take him at his word during this book.
I find it very easy to believe. I'm a gay pedophile. Hey, I was as a child. Yeah, that tracks. Like that's the most believable of everything that he's ever said, actually. The teenagers revealed themselves to young Damien. The fact they had already sprouted pubic hair and were rather larger than himself bewildered Damien. It was all very strange to me, but it didn't hurt when they touched mine or impelled me to grasp theirs. Without warning of any sort, Steve looked at me saying, "Yo, we've been here too long, and I need to get you home, and I mean right now." So we pulled our pants back up over our knees, and I, for one, washed my hands at the sink. My mom's rule about doing so after touching my wiener must have been buzzing in my head. I like the quote within a quote.
All of these quotes from him, like I'm imagining him in his cell just relaying these like conversations and stories to his cellmate who's writing the book, basically. So he's just sitting here like, and you know, directly quoting him basically as he talks to him in his cell.
I'm telling you, there is absolutely 0% of a chance that these two guys weren't off as he was retelling the story.
Oh yeah,
like, oh yeah, tell me more. Yeah, these fucking child blacks, they were you. Oh yeah, Damien.
The details, they're like he over details everything clearly to the point where he's enjoying it.
Oh man, he would love Reddit. What was it? I forget what I sent you the other day, but you pointed out this trope in like trauma subreddits where people like creeps will infiltrate it and write elaborate, basically like sex fanfic.
Yeah,
like it'll be
very prominent.
I got
subreddits and like
like a survivor subreddit, but it'll be a guy just pretending to be a woman, just going into elaborate detail about how he quote unquote got wet or whatever, or she.
Yeah, and also it's probably a lot of them are doing it, faking it to like then start talking to, you know, other survivors and DMs and stuff, right. And like getting details from them and things like that.
You want to DM me? Yeah, you want to share details of our together?
Yeah.
That day of basic touching, as it would turn out, was merely a trial run to judge the 9-year-old's reaction by Steve and Nathan. Their true and hidden agenda of orally and this young strawberry blonde boy, as often as they could get away with it, would start.
Why did he need to add that detail? There's no, they don't need. He goes over it in such detail, makes him like have to be a cute little strawberry blonde boy.
It's an interracial porn fantasy. That's why.
It really is.
It's the meme, like, you know, the girl in between all the black guys, like sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Don't you remember in the video, the TCAP video that we watched last episode, he talks about dating a black girl in that as well? He's like, I'm dating a black girl right now. He's very clearly like got a fetish for black people, and we're going to find out as this goes on. But he really does.
Well, I mean, if his first experience was getting by them, I guess that's
true, I guess.
What do they call it? Imprinting?
Yeah.
It didn't take long after trekking through all of their alfalfa and hay fields for Damien's mom to find her dead dog along the side of the main road. Damn it, the dog dies in this, everyone. Spoiler alert.
This is exactly like John Wick.
Yeah. Damien's earlier feeling of aghast instantly returned at the sight of the carcass. I was horrified about our dog and my own mortality once Dad got home. I wanted to run away and be with Steve. Sure, he made me feel nervous when he touched my but that didn't matter as much as getting spanked like I was going to get when Dad got home. Wait, what? Why would he get spanked for the dog dying?
Well, his dad was abusive. I've skipped a lot of details, obviously, throughout the book, but he does talk about how his dad would like beat him up and stuff. Not beat him up, but like whenever he would do something wrong, he'd get spanked.
The goldfish is floating at the top of the tank. I'm gonna beat Damien's ass.
Well, no, it was because he let the son out, let the dog out in the morning.
Oh, okay. Then he deserves a spanking. Fuck him. It was better than not feeling at all. After all, with Steve, I was safe. And without Steve, I had to go to my own private place where I rocked till I was at peace. Steve is fucking grooming this retard.
Him. I don't think there was any grooming involved.
Yeah, honestly, he actually skipped the grooming step, huh? What the fuck? He made this kid like his fucking little bitch boy. Yeah, Damien, without me, you're gonna be rocking until you're at peace, so you better come. That night, the 9-year-old tossed and turned in a sleep, both from the pain to his rear end and from the nightmares of dead dogs and hairy wieners. What a sentence.
Yeah, beautiful. Literary genius.
Dead dogs and hairy wieners. Can that be the name of the episode?
That's what the fucking act should have been called. That's a way better name.
Let's just call that the porno. I like how it's like, what is it? Probably, it's somewhere between like 7 and 10 a.m. across all of America right now. Everybody is at work. I can see that the chat is pretty slow because I assume everybody's just like
Listening.
either dressing or already at work, like balls deep in work. And we're in their ears reading about dead dogs and hairy wieners.
You can listen live too if you go to official.men, 7-day free trial.
Yeah, if you're currently listening to this recorded, you could have been listening to this live.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And if you're on YouTube, sorry for the bleeps. This is going to be heavily censored because YouTube fucked us
I just
in our
skipped
ass
to the
again.
end at that point. Is this episode going to be like 7 minutes?
It's just going to have a lot of bleeps. Because don't blame us. Don't blame us because YouTube keeps striking us. And so now we need to take bigger precautions. It's on them.
It's not us being bitches. All right. The following Wednesday, since both Steve and Nathan oftentimes had soccer practice after school, the three met yet again at that same filthy public restroom. Don't these kids have like homes? Why the fuck are they going to public restrooms like a bunch of like park cruisers? That is so odd.
Yeah.
Almost immediately after checking for vacancy in the 3 toilet stalls, Damien was introduced to the older boys relieved days of pent-up sexual frustration in a single afternoon.
With an exclamation point. Like,
okay.
Yeah, this is
now
fetish.
I know that you're into this.
Yeah.
Because any other normal person would have ended that on a normal period, like a sullen moment. This is like a heavy hitting, like, this is fucked up. This is sad. This is not funny. But you know, when they ended in an exclamation mark, it's like, so much pent-up sexual frustration in a single afternoon. Damien, who was still too young to understand most things, was also introduced that day to a few days after Damien's virginity was manhandled from him, quite literally, upon that smelly and disgusting tile floor, Steve and Nathan had a quote-unquote falling out, and no longer were friends. This is just gay fanfic now, by the way. This is archive of our own. AO3, as the ladies call it. Damien and Steve continued to meet before and after school throughout the remaining year. They didn't always meet for sex, didn't always have a private place to be together, but the inclination and pent-up frustration was always there. Steve became his largest distraction, Damien's obsession, his only source of safety and stability. The cost of being persistently seemed reasonable to the alternative.
And then we come to chapter 5, the turning of a page. At this point in my life, according to the social norm, I was supposed to be either at school studying or out playing with other kids my age. Since I was lacking the former, I chose other teen boys. It might have been the wrong way to go about making friends, but it took the place of loneliness and regular beatings from an abusive drunk. End quote.
He keeps using this as an excuse. Like, I could go home, but my parents are mean. So, I went onto the playground and sucked everybody's.
If he's a teenager at the time and he's having sex with other teenagers, like, it's not good or appropriate, but that's way different to him being a 50-year-old man kids now. Like, he should have obviously stopped.
Oh, I thought he was still like 10 in this story. How old is he here?
No, he's 10 at this point. I'm just saying, like, in the future, like, this isn't justification
obviously.
for anything that happens in the future.
No, of course not. But also, okay, I don't know about you. My is it called elementary school in Australia? I don't know. But when I was that little, our school wasn't that good, that big rather. Like, if there was a kid going around offering all the other boys, a teacher would eventually hear about it.
Yeah,
parents
same over
would hear
here.
about it.
There's no way that that would have been a giant school scandal.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this wouldn't have been some weird under the table.
I'm telling you, this isn't real. This is all fetish, and this is why I don't take him for his word about the stuff. It's clearly like this is all fantasy. It feels like for him.
Wait, clearly. Well, it's like a moot point. Whether it's real or not, he's clearly into it. That's a depressing part. It doesn't even. I was going to say almost, but it's not even almost. It really doesn't even matter if this is real or not. He's into it.
Well, it doesn't really matter how he came to be that way either. Like, he clearly is into it and should be locked away forever.
Mm-hmm.
Damien met after school either at a secluded place beneath a freeway on-ramp. Again, he's like 12 at this point. Like, come on.
Yeah, but this like 12-year-old is written from the perspective of like an adult gay.
A 50-year-old pedophile, yeah.
Yeah, hey, you want to meet up at the truck stop glory hole or the the public restrooms at the park? This is not something a 12-year-old would do.
Yeah, even like a homeless 12-year-old. Damien met after school either at a secluded place beneath a freeway on-ramp or a complete stranger's living room, offering to students he knew and to some he didn't know at all. It wasn't offered as much as it was forcefully taken of him. However, Damien was beginning to accept this way of life as normal. After all, what else could he do? He needed companionship and others needed sexual release. Wasn't this what friendship was all about?
That's what I tell you all the time.
Yeah. This is our friendship.
Whenever I forcefully manhandle your virginity or whatever the fuck he wrote.
I'm like, he's such a good friend.
Isn't this what friendship is about? Is me giving you what the fuck?
Quote, well, from my point of view, just about everything went south that January. One humongous problem was about to happen. Not intentionally, but I thought it would be okay for me to invite a friend from school home. The friend was, of course, only interested in my body. It sounds like he f***ed the entire school somehow. Like everyone was gay at his school and they all
Yes.
Only interested in my body. And to make things worse, he was not white. Quote, of course not. This guy is so transparent.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that he only offered to black people at his school.
Yeah, we need to get a black fetish reference counter going because this is like already
good
3,
idea.
right?
We need like a clicker, a counter in the top right of the video of like how many times is he gonna mention
black people?
I'm telling you, it could not have been the whole school. I bet that there's school. I forget, where did he say he grew up? He said in the mountains. He said he's some fucking like hick, right? So there must have been like 7 black people in total, maybe in town, like black kids, and he must have just been getting passed around by all of them, offering them.
Well, in his fantasy, yeah. If his fantasy would make any sense. It was the first day of the school semester, and Damien had invited a black boy from school to his house.
4.
Damien didn't know the boy very well. Well, no, it's the same one, but yeah, I guess you can count it. Damien didn't know the boy very well and honestly couldn't recall for me his name, only that it had started with a J, possibly Jamal. Oh my God.
It's such a fucking stereotype.
I know. He's so racist, but in like a fetishization way.
Jamal. Jamal Washington.
Yeah. Chapter 8, Promotion. Waking up from this is a quote again. Waking up from a sound nap, I'd be dreaming about my 2 long lost friends, Steve and Nathan. Again, if you're not keeping track, those are the ones that like them in the toilet. I found myself feeling a little embarrassed by the unplanned growth in my pants. Again, it's so fucking clear what this is. It was pretty obvious. This was a bad habit to have, but I didn't know how to kill it. I actually wanted a few cadets to take notice of it in hopes that they would seek out the relief I was willing to provide, as long as it was in complete secrecy. Oh yeah, I should reference 3 chapters have passed right now. Yeah, it's boring. His dad took him out of school, punished him because of the black kid that he had over at his house. He beat him so bad and then pulled him out of school and put him in a military camp, apparently. So now he's in military camp. So now he's talking about getting boners when he would sleep because he was surrounded by men, like other cadets. Mm-hmm. Damien and James went about... Damien and James. James was his captain, I believe, or someone above him.
Okay.
Damien and James went about their own business as Damien wanted a loan. He keeps spelling alone in this book as along every single time. He does not spell alone correct ever. It's always along. So I kept that in there. As Damien wanted a long time in the shower, He got the time he wanted, and for once the water was warm, but it much too quickly became pretty far from alone time. He was soon grouped with 3 other fully naked boys and their exposed yet limp penises. Damien's own phallus was inadvertently hardening. A lightly older student to his left noticed that Damien had stopped bathing himself, standing motionless and awkwardly, and upon discovery blurted out, "Holster that weapon, soldier." None of this happened.
None of this is just gay now.
Yeah,
literally.
it's fucking gay. This spectacle along was embarrassing enough, fueling plenty of material for some of the more brash and cruel teenagers to create hours worth of insults. However, this wasn't the end of it. For this being the first real time since his admission into Mount Low, which was the camp, Damien sat on the cold floor beside his bunk bed and started quietly rocking.
Oh my God. How old is he at this point? Like 15,
I think
16?
about 13, 13, 14.
They have like military school? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Another quote from Damien. "The day was a mess, but better than being back at school. I can remember Sam saying he enjoys spending time with me, regardless of the fact that he was missing a football game." Sam is another cadet again. Someone he was in love with, I think.
Who is he not in love with? Is Nathan and what was his face? The other guy, Steve? Are they out of the picture
at
now?
this point? Yeah, he moved in between chapters to California.
Oh no.
Sam tried to make a day of it for us. Before sunset, Sam took me to his favorite spot for girl and, in some cases, boy watching. Little did we pay attention that it was the girls who were watching us. That night was when I believed that I finally understood real love. It wasn't just lust, as it had been with Steve and the others. Sure, I was indeed hungry for either girl-gina or man-gina. I didn't care which. I thank my raging hormones for that. I just needed it to be private, to not get caught, and so did Sam. Thankfully, it wasn't long until we found that seclusion and engaged in mutual sex. The experiences I'd had before paled in comparison, for this kind of lovemaking wasn't just rapid screwing, nor was it coitus with only one partner's enjoyment in mind. Sam cared about my level of pleasure as much as his own, and this was something new to me. Much more advanced. Chapter 9, A New Science. Quote, "I was also happy to have Sam to spend the summer months with. He was more than a good school friend and one I could and did delight in sexually. The only love I needed, or so I believed. Love was its own funny kind of science. It didn't conform to any logical rules or theories. And before the summer was over, my relationship, sexual and otherwise, with Samuel ended." End quote. You could take this next one.
May I ask what race Sam was?
It didn't come up, so I assume white.
Okay, yeah, there must have been white then if it didn't come up. Chapter 10, Unexpected Qualities. It was the October of Damien's 13th year, and he received from Major Robinson the greatest gift of his life, acknowledgement. He had seen me this is our pedo. He had seen me grow a lot since my enrollment in the academy. He was well pleased with my behavior, my willingness to grow, to mature beyond my comfort zone, my hidden qualities. He verily called them for extra recognition, and, as a sign of his pleasure, he had promoted me to the rank of sergeant, beyond what Sergeant Barker has put me up for.
Yeah, okay. It's 13 and promoted to sergeant. I'm assuming this is like a cadet school, so fine, but I doubt that this guy who couldn't stop rocking back and forth and sucking everywhere was promoted to the rank of sergeant anyway.
Well, the sucking dick is how he got the promotions.
Maybe, true.
The major had me report to B barracks as their new platoon leader. I felt a little uncomfortable with the assignment because I really didn't know what I was supposed to do. That is, until I'd met Lieutenant Adams, who knew about my promotion and assignment in advance before I did and was glad for it.
As it turned out, Lieutenant Adams taught Damien all that he needed to know regarding how to manage his assignments. Since Damien had completely skipped the usual months or years at the rank of corporal, Lieutenant Adams was quite understanding of Damien's nervousness.
His schooling of me about leadership was refreshing, and for that matter, a huge help in my development. I felt almost immediately empowered without letting my new authority either overwhelm or consume me. Then there was a personal setback. I learned something the hard way. For one, women are truly attracted to authority and a man in uniform. And two, I discovered that I liked girls as a much better way to enjoy sex again. In fact, whenever I entered a room, I was the most attractive 13-year-old around, albeit because of the stripes on my arm.
Yeah, okay. We've seen pictures of him. We know what he looks like. He's like a fat sweat. I doubt he was a very attractive like person growing up as well. You know what I mean?
I also, what girls? Like, I assume at this all-boy military school, they don't have like 13-year-old girls, right? Like commingling with them. So I assume he's talking about adult women.
Oh, I was thinking more like if they ever went to the mall and stuff, probably. Like I'm assuming they were let out for like afternoons and stuff. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know.
but still, like, yeah. Maybe.
I have no clue. I have no clue. Continue on.
Chapter 11: Hell Restored.
Yeah, this is when they got back from Vietnam.
It was during the first week in the fall of 1971, I was finally about to discover something about my manhood. Something that I should have learned from a father and not from the other immature teen boys at my school. I was about to discover the natural beauty of girls and the fact that I would want to know more and more than I could ever be taught, except by rote, by extensive personal experience.
Yeah, you think? Well, if only I had met a girl before I started sucking like 27 a day.
Not to be confusing, because I found more than enough of life to be confusing as it is, but I did still find boys to be attractive. When done right, they were safer than girls. At least they won't tell, rarely get emotionally attached, and cannot get pregnant. Yes, yet girls are more pleasurable, more tender in their loving, and much more playful, if you enjoy foreplay, than are boys. What am I to do with this problem?
I like how he's like, he was obviously born to be straight, but then he got fucking in a public restroom, and now he's like, fuck, I don't know.
He's just bisexual.
He is now. Clearly, something had occurred in his past, an important event which changed his life that his memory had repressed and was now regurgitating with a vengeance.
Something worse than getting
over and over and offering to everyone in school.
Yeah, okay.
Damien was unsure of what it was, but knew that if he did not face this buried fear, he'd never be able to sleep more fully than he was. The following night, Damien intentionally overdosed on cold flu syrup. How do you overdose?
Not trying to harm or...
Like
I think he's trying to
nurse?
put him. Yeah, he's trying to make sure that he dreams these full dreams of repressed memories or whatever.
Not trying to harm himself. So he wouldn't wake up halfway through his dream if he dreamt it. Thankfully he did. The nightmare started on the day he'd met Steve. Yeah, you forgot about that already?
Yeah, obviously.
It was a rainy morning, and I was on my way to the blacktop where I caught the bus, and I met 13-year-old Steve, the boy who sexually me, yet not by being violent or bribing me. No, not Steve. He was hanging around the township building when he saw me standing at the corner waiting for the school bus. I felt beside myself that morning, and Steve reached out to this youngster. I remember that he'd call out, "Hey, DC, how are you doing?" But there was nothing, absolutely dead silence from the autistic 8-year-old. I'm not even sure he'd learned my name, but he knew mine before I told him or heard his. Stephen and his family of 3 brothers, 2 sisters, his mom, and no father.
Of course he wants to add that little detail. He's so racist.
I mean, that part is a stereotype for a reason.
Lived about 2 miles from the Collinses' farm. What was it?
Sorry.
He's just hitting everything. He's hitting every single stereotype.
Yeah, they were blasting loud rap music.
Yeah.
What was he doing that rainy morning 2 miles from home?
Stealing bikes.
That's not in there. Read it verbatim. Wait, is it?
Okay, sorry. No.
Oh, okay.
Not this time.
Does this mean that our chance meeting wasn't that chance at all? Maybe Steve had been planning it all along like a modern day stalker. Isn't this what they call a meet cute? Like an arranged meet cute where the guy tries to...
You're right.
Like, how you watch, like in the movies, they watch the girl get the same cup of coffee at the Starbucks for a while. So then they, oh no, I accidentally bumped into her. Hey, can I get you you're getting that latte? That's my favorite too. That's what Steve did to this boy. He certainly earned my trust right away. Yet I still do not believe that he was thinking about me that early in a relationship. Granted, when Steve introduced me to sex, it was never meant to be harmful to my development. But meant to or not, it did do some harm.
Yeah, so but he's totally fine with then fucking molesting children in the future when he's a grown adult, even though he's clearly like determined here that it did harm.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I found gay horrible or that it's being gay is what was harmful to my development. No, it was the fact that I was all too young to have freely chosen to be a homosexual, which later in life I might have never chosen. Steve hurt my ability to develop and freely choose to know about sex at all, gay or otherwise. It was just another stumbling block. My relationship with Steve wasn't all negative. As you've already read, he did give me a good advice at times and tried to get me to break out of my shell by getting involved in 4-H. That's the shop class or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And spending time around other kids. Yeah, just for them to them too. He was like, hey, here's my buddy Nathan. Let him touch you. So comparing pros and cons and what Steve did to me, the good somewhat ties with the bad.
No, what? This isn't... He's doing a fucking boogie moment. Fucking Hitler did some good.
That's actually incredible. Wrapping up is like, I was as a child, but I mean, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, that's his rationalization for why he doesn't feel so bad for doing it himself, I guess.
Oh, you're right. This actually reminds me of... What was that gay Greek guy's name? The one that was like going on campus tour all around. He looked all twinky and blonde. Milo Yiannopoulos. He went on a podcast at some point and got canceled because he said, I'm gay because I got by my camp counselor when I was 13. And look, for us gay boys, like it's not all bad. I kind of liked it. Not all 13-year-old like... Just because a boy has with an older man doesn't mean it's automatically all bad. Gross. And he got canceled the fuck out of himself for that statement. And this guy sounds the same.
Yeah.
Just rationalizing his own perversion. The quote continues. This is still him. But clearly, this recurring dream that was depriving me of adequate sleep, it wasn't trying to make excuses for the people in my past. Now, something else occurred in my life. Some other reason for these images to keep popping up in my head. A few nights later, this dream faded, and with it, so did my fatigue and discomfort at being a squad leader. However, in hindsight, it had never occurred to me that the message of this dream, the true meaning towards why I kept having it, was prophetical. Oh, a warning of things to come. It was Jesus.
Jesus was telling me that I would one day become an uber that would make even Samuel pale in comparison.
Jesus was communicating with him by making him dream of a black boy that molested him. D, Damien had shouted over the crowd. Sergeant Jackson, parade rest. Jackson ordered his squad, then turned to Damien. Okay, I don't know which quote is whose, so I'm just doing random voices now.
This is Jackson now.
Okay.
So it's alternating between Jackson and Damien now.
Oh, okay. Well, if it ain't my old cadet, what's so important? I've come to say goodbye, sir, the red-eyed boy stammered. Sir, we're the same Ryan Collins, and what do you mean goodbye? My son of a He stopped himself, then repostured. My worthless stepdad is pulling me out of school, Damien exclaimed through obvious pain and welling tears. What? Oh, Collins, shit. I'm so sorry. I can't believe this crap. I belong here at the academy.
He never got the final syllable out before Jackson pulled him into a tight, bear-crushing hug.
Oh god, this is getting too real.
Jackson did this mainly because he saw that Damien was losing it and needed his friend's support. Meanwhile, the members of the squad, especially those in the back who couldn't have heard a single spoken word, caught a rather rare glimpse of military officers expressing any kind of emotion, of brotherhood. Yeah, you never get brotherhood in the military from what I heard here. You know, that's new.
I love how even here, like every single, he's writing this is like, I inspired so many souls that one day. Like he's such a hero, basically, in his recollection of this event, this made up event. Again, it's like fucking shit. Like he's taking like Saving Private Ryan kind of vibes and attributing it to his own past.
Yeah, seriously. Like, oh yeah, it brought the whole place together. We all cried, and they didn't want me to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like the guy who's staring at their in every shower session.
Meanwhile, everyone's like, "Hey, where's that rocking retard? Oh, he's gone. Oh, fuck! Finally. Okay,
Finally.
So can I shower naked again? Jesus."
Okay, so now he's left the academy. He's been pulled out of the academy as well, right when he was getting promoted and stuff by his abusive dad, and they've moved to California, basically, or something like that.
Well, that's not gonna help. What kind of a fucking idea is this anyway? Yeah, my boy is acting kind of strange and gay. Better take him to California,
where he'll make it.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be accepted there, son. Chapter 12: A Strange New World.
I was now a student at Inglewood High School. I had lost all interest in sex with boys as my obsession with girls grew, particularly in girls of color.
Okay. I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I specifically went after girls of different races on purpose. Out of spite of my dad's racist bigotry, I just found them more exotic.
I feel like it is in spite of his dad. That has to be like, because humans are kind of attracted to taboos, and if your dad always beat your ass for like having a black friend over to play your Nintendo.
Yeah.
I guess at that age they didn't even have, but like that has to be part of it, right?
Yeah, it's going to be an element. He's certainly like fetishizing them, to a pretty insane degree.
Well, also black people in the US, it's not that exotic.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
What do you mean exotic? You didn't fucking...
Maybe from the mountain where he came.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I suppose if it's rare. But I mean, by that point, he had like sucked 5 black. It's like, how exotic can it be when you've already like swallowed their...
Yeah, he's not even like 15 yet either.
As it turned out, I had 2 things going for me. These were booze and the fact that I could provide girls their fill of my company.
Ugh.
Okay, just pro tip, girls don't like it, but like you being a boozer is not something you have going for you. That's not a positive character trait that women love.
Yeah, getting women drunk and then fucking them. Wow, what a charmer.
Or like getting drunk yourself and just being obnoxious and leering on them.
Not that I was a real catch, but that I was dedicated, had what they wanted, and I was willing to learn and provide their other vices such as LSD, aka acid, or marijuana. Anyway, one afternoon while in our French class, I accidentally, in other words deliberately, dropped my pencil behind me. Leaning over to pick it up, I glanced over in her direction, and I was entertained by the full beauty of her sex staring directly at me. This naturally brought me great joy and heartness.
So he just dropped his pencil and looked up a girl's skirts. Why is he telling the story like it's not like every boy hasn't tried to do this?
Just the knowledge along that she favored no panties while wearing thigh-high...
This is fanfic. What the fuck?
I know. What kind of fucking... Is this a thing? Do people just not wear underwear?
No. This is not something that like 12-year-old girls do, however old he is now, supposed to be.
She favored now panties while wearing thigh-high skirts would keep me erect for the remainder of the class. But this wasn't the end of it.
Returning upright in his chair,
Damien heard Lisa express her frustration when saying, "Hey, sleazoid, bring a camera next time."
Oh my god, he sounds like a writer of like Stranger Things or something. Like this is some
Sleazoid. I actually kind of like that. It's like very almost endearing. Sleazoid.
Cheesy.
It is cheesy, yeah. If it came from an actual woman, it would be cheesy in an endearing way, but from this guy, it literally is just fanfic smut.
Yeah.
To which Damien Smart Alecky remarked, "When you dress like that, half the class is wishing they'd brought a camera." Ooh, zing. He called her a whore. Boy, was she ever pissed. Not only did this 14-year-old boy see her sex, she was a year younger, by the way, but as things turned out...
adding that detail? I was a pedophile even then.
Just to paint a picture in the reader's mind.
Why is it written like that's a brag?
She was a 10 out of 10 10-year-old.
It's so fucking gross. What the fuck? It's that he's still fantasizing about it now.
Yeah, clearly. It's like grandpa talking like, "Oh yeah, I got a hot piece of ass when I was your age." But as things turned out, she became the laughing stock for once. Ooh, he had a good zinger. Yeah, he has to add that, by the way. Like, yeah, I got her good, by the way. Write that down. I was on the dork. Everybody laughed at her with me.
Yeah.
With me, not at me.
Meanwhile, he's rocking in the corner crying again.
Yeah, Lisa's the one rocking this time. Also, as things turned out, she later that week was willing to provide much more than a private view up her skirt. She was willing to have if I was willing to bring the booze.
Yeah, right.
She actually said, "If you'll get me drunk, sleazoid, I'll treat you to a fucking you'll never forget." Who was I to turn down such an offer?
Oh my god, this is painful.
I think you forgot a quote again. I was supposed to be reading this in his voice the whole time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who was I to turn down such an offer? Yeah, this is literally this is not how fucking 13-year-olds talk.
I'll treat you to a fucking you'll never forget. Like she's some 40-year-old chain smoking truck stop whore.
He actually, like, you know how, like, some people get their entire view of how women operate from just movies and shit. Like, if you go to the incel forums, they all think like, "Hey, this shit that I saw in porn, that's how women talk."
Well, no, again, he's a TCAT predator. Remember, this is how they talk online and how they believe that the decoys are. Like, it's consistent.
Well, that too, because they're porn brains. You also see it in their chats, right? Because in their chats, they're like, "So, how many cocks have you sucked so far?" And then they're confronted with like an actual, how a 13-year-old would talk, which is, "I don't know, none." Ew, gross question. What do you mean? I'm not like that. And they genuinely Pikachu face like, "Huh? You haven't had multiple gangbangs?"
Yeah.
Chad is saying, where did his game disappear when he got older? Yeah. Where's this charmer? Boy, did I ever have a good day. I was learning French, and that day I learned how to give French. To my surprise, at about 4 that afternoon, Lisa showed up and brought a girlfriend with her. Nancy was also looking forward to getting drunk and laid, perhaps even more than Lisa was. Yeah, okay. I'm sure they were.
He had an epic threesome.
And then like 8 black classmates of mine also came, and they also wanted to get drunk and laid with me, and we all circled the girls and their faces.
Yeah.
Both girls, by the way, were partly or wholly African. I drink.
What is that, 6, 7 times now?
I mean, at this point, we're approaching 10. Okay, well, thank you for the detail. I'm sure you can guess where this is headed. Yet that afternoon was exceptional and worth of any consequence. Sorry, narrator.
At around 6 that evening, Damien's stepfather came home to find this unpleasantness. 2 mostly naked, underaged, and clearly very drunk girls of color sprawled out in his living room, while his adopted son appeared comatose or merely exhausted upon Arthur's own disheveled mattress. He fucked in there. Okay, oh my god, so many fucking fantasies are colliding here. His race fetish is like, you can literally see it of him writing a girls of colors in quotes. Yeah, like a Venn diagram of perversion. He's writing girls of color because he's titillated by the fact that his dad would not have approved of that.
Yeah.
They're all drunk.
Him on his bed using his alcohol as well.
They're all drunk. He's fucking on his dad's bed just as a fuck you. And of course, he is exhausted, because he's been having so much sex. Yeah. He's just such a chat. He's just tuckered out from 2 girls at the same time. He had 2 real problems. The first, getting rid of the teenage girls without the authorities getting involved. The second, the fear that his son may very well have gotten one or both of them pregnant. Dad just didn't know how to deal with this mess, so he resorted to a standby punishment. The bat. He smashed a few things. He smashed a few things to both sober up and encourage the drunk 13-year-olds to get dressed faster. Then turned his attention to me. He'd swung into me twice, both times to my side, before I managed to grasp a hold of it and pull it from his hands. I was becoming equally as strong as him. Now we're getting to the confrontation fantasy here, where he's going to beat up his dad. And this bothered him more than anything. I admit that I was wrong in drinking his alcohol and having sex on his larger bed. I mean, yeah, dick move, right?
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, you don't just get sloppy drunk on another man's alcohol stash and then fucking his bed on top of it. That's like layers and layers of disrespect. Yet I stood my ground when he started using the N-word. He was the one who needed to grow up! Exclamation mark. Does he actually write N-word or does he spell it out in the book?
No, he says N-word.
Okay. He's respectful, you see. I stood there holding the bat by its thick end, saying so. I like how he's like the original social justice, like male feminist. That's not cool, Dad. Not a good look.
He's a hero.
Saying that the world was changing, it was new, and he needed to change with it. Dad's only response to this was a stern warning that his alcohol was his and must never again disappear. Which is fair. Like, this guy's in the wrong here. I don't know what the fuck. How is he trying to turn this around? Yeah, what the fuck?
If someone fucked in my bed, I'd beat them up with a bat.
Yeah, stop in my bed. Stop getting drunk at 13. Also, stop having underage. The dad is like right in every fucking regard here.
Stop bringing underage women to my house and getting them drunk and then f***ing them in my house. Yeah, that could get me in trouble.
Yeah. Regarding the two girls, Nancy, who was darker than Lisa.
Again, what the fuck? He's like ranking them by darkness. Oh yes, 85%.
So Nancy was hotter.
Nancy, who's darker than Lisa because of our afternoon, did get pregnant and gave birth to a daughter whom I've never met.
What?
Sure, there's the possibility that the baby wasn't mine. After all, Nancy was what you'd call loose and insatiable. It was the 70s, but I believe the daughter was mine.
God,
what is this fan fiction?
None of this is real.
I know.
Loose and insatiable. No 13-year-old is loose and insatiable. This is like, we actually struck pay dirt here. This is like fucking a gold mine of, it's a TCAP chatlock fantasy. And
exactly.
They did it. They actually sat down, like 2 of the pedos, and they were like,
we need to combine forces.
Yeah, they merged. They did like a fucking Dragon Ball Z merger dance. Or whatever. Yeah, fusion dance. And they like merged their chat logs into a book. One of them was just sitting on his bed touching himself like, yeah, that's how many black I sucked. And the other one was like editing, like, yeah, tell me more, as he's also touching himself.
Yeah.
Chris Hansen should read this, whatever the fuck he's doing now.
As it turned out, Lisa's mother. Am I the narrator now? Yeah, I am. As it turned out, Lisa's mother, understandably pissed to find her little girl sloshed, did call the police, providing them with his written down address found in her pockets. Damien was charged with having sex with a minor and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. However, since they were both around the same age of 14, the charges were misdemeanors. He went to... That is a misdemeanor if two 14-year-olds fuck?
I guess, yeah.
That is... I don't know if I support that or not. That is odd. Like, 14-year-olds should not fuck under any circumstance. That's retarded. They're retarded, but like, misdemeanor? I don't think the boy should be arrested for it.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's not an arrest. What is a misdemeanor? Is a misdemeanor just like a slap on the
Could
wrist?
it could be a fine or something, but he did get sent to juvie. I don't know. He's not being honest. Let's not get hung up on the details.
Yeah, fair enough. I went to juvenile hall for my acts. I really didn't understand why I could be the only one charged for sex acts if both, or in any case, all three involved, because I had a 3-time, had willingly, deliberately. My providing them with alcohol didn't help my defense. Nevertheless, I was locked up with a bunch of boys, most of them much older than I was. Oh no, through the vicissitudes of fate, he's once again found himself among a bunch of boys. Jackson, just as he was turning his life around and becoming straight, you see, he's back in prison. It's the universe. It's not even his fault.
Yeah.
I knew in my heart that I was not supposed to have sex with boys, but how else?
What?
But how else was I supposed to overcome my hurts and painful memories? Just the fact that I once believed having sex with boys gave me courage now repulsed me. Yes, I felt attracted to them, some of them, the black ones. But I now knew from my days at the academy that allowing boys to me was weakness, not strength. But in that horrible jail for kids, I just felt so weak and along, with a G. Damien was being charged with not only having sex with 2 underage and intoxicated girls, while himself being a drunk teen, but on the more serious charges of contributing to the delinquency of 2 minors. After all, he had provided them the alcohol, plus persuading a 12-year-old in acts of while incarcerated. What?
Wait, you slipped in that detail there.
So he went to juvie, and as he's being held there, he made a 12-year-old boy suck his dick, and they just tacked that charge on, I guess.
Well, I guess, like, because that's what the previous paragraph might have been about how, but in that horrible jail for kids, I just felt so weak and alone, so I had to screw some boys. Yeah.
The what did I say? The students becomes the teacher. He becomes the master.
It is like a curse.
Yeah. He's 14
Jesus
now.
was right in his dream. His prophecy. The prophecy came true immediately.
He's gonna see Stephen Nathan like the fucking Force Jedi ghosts. You have done well, my Padawan.
Oh my god.
Damien had been caught by the guards in not only touching the younger child in a sexual manner, but talking about performing oral. Any type of sexual contact between inmates is prohibited. Again, I was fortunate that I was all of 15 years and young and dumb. I had violated the law by my attempts in engaging a friend in I didn't understand why that was illegal. Why it was wrong to even talk about gay.
It wasn't the gay it was that you were kids. that you were fucking thing. It's not gay. It's not about the gay aspect of it.
Well, also touching the boy, not just talking.
Yeah.
Dumb and stupid as I was most fortunate to have the probation office that I had. A few weeks after my arraignment, a psychiatrist at juvenile hall diagnosed me with, quote, latent or early childhood schizophrenia and prescribed me the drug Stelazine. All right, time to look up what the fuck Stelazine does. What the fuck? Trifluoperazine, marketed under the brand name Stelazine, among others, is a typical antipsychotic.
used to treat schizophrenia. This is the 70s, right? So I assume this is like way back when they were like, "Oh, you're gay. We're gonna you have to be psychotic or some shit." General anxiety disorder. Yeah, just an antipsychotic. It sounds like. Side effects.
Yeah.
Highly tardive dyskinesia is an involuntary body moves. That's not gonna help. Okay, so this kid was already rocking back and forth, right? Like a fucking retard on the ground, and they gave him a drug that would make him rock even more. It gave him tardive dyskinesia.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Tardive dyskinesia is a disorder that results in involuntary repetitive body movements.
Well, that sounds like rocking. That sounds like a fancy way of saying rocking.
Listen to this, which may include grimacing, sticking out the tongue, or smacking the lips. Sound familiar?
Like sucking dick?
No, Jackson, he was sticking out his tongue the whole time, remember? He was mlam during Chris's interview.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The thumbnail that we pulled.
Yeah.
He kept licking his lips, so maybe it's still the tardive dyskinesia that he got from the fucking tart drug they gave him for being gay and juvie.
Yeah, wait, you're right. Maybe he's still on it.
All right, well,
it didn't work anyway. It didn't stop him from children.
Yeah, it didn't work. It just made it worse. His tics worse. All right, there's the update on the lore. He got the tardive dyskinesia in prison and juvie.
We come to chapter 13, The Road to Recovery. Okay, well, I was reading your chart. Wait, no, this is someone different.
You're the voice.
I don't do the voices. This is like the psychiatrist. He's now talking to a psychiatrist at the juvie or whatever. Okay, well, I was reading your chart and I see that your parents are divorced and that you are the eldest of 3. After flipping a few pages, unable to find the form he was looking for, he added, "We don't have a family history for you." And then Damien replies, "I don't have a family history because I never had a family." The doctor replies, "Yes, I do see what you mean by no family. Neither of them notified the police of their home phone numbers in case of emergency."
Wow. They basically said, yeah, keep him.
Yeah, good. You can have him. Finishing what the doctor was asking, Damien shut down, not deliberately, but usefully. He began rocking, trying to protect himself from Dr. Riley's probing questions about his family. Again, rocking, Damien expressed himself by raising his voice. I don't know. What did I do wrong? You went to juvenile hall. You were seen touching another boy sexually. Not only is that illegal, the court decided to get your help for your illness and keep you off the streets until you're cured of your choices. In the 1960s and 1970s, homosexuality was largely viewed as both a disease and a personal choice. That a person's attraction to members of the same gender wasn't innate or developed naturally, but voluntarily and optional. Research grants were even issued towards finding a cure for being gay. Yet young Damien truly didn't understand how preference of sexual participation was considered illegal. Again, this isn't about him being gay. He's not being charged with being gay.
You see what he's trying to do here, right? He's trying to like merge the two things. Yeah, like he's trying to kind of sort of sneak like a Trojan horse. Like, yeah, the 60s and 70s were so prejudicial. Like, you all are reading this book right now, you know, right?
Yeah. Still bad for me.
Completely skipping the whole part, like, kid's part. It's just he's making it about being gay.
He continues. It was around my 3rd day in the program when I was approached by a 15-year-old boy named Alex, who would become an important friend, a strictly platonic friend. And by platonic, I mean he studied the philosophy of Plato and other philosophers.
Ugh.
We have the same reaction. So douchey. His fantasy about how he was like educated by a guy who studied Plato or whatever.
And that he thought that was a good pun.
Yeah, that too. There is this is Alex telling Damien, "There is a spiritual reality beyond anything we could possibly imagine," Alex told Damien. "Yet it's right here with us, surrounds us every single second of every day." You mean like ghosts? He's so fucking stupid. No ghosts. No. Ghosts are supernatural, and I doubt that they're real. But angels, now angels are real. God refers to them in the Bible, so they must exist. Angels are around us, surround us every day. We can't see them unless they reveal themselves to us, but we can join them. Join them? You mean when we die?
That sounds like a pact. Let's join the angels.
Yeah. Oh, man. He continues. Wait, was this? Oh, yeah, this is it. So Alex continues. Well, you just sound confused to me. And trust me, being confused is a whole lot better than being wacko. Damien wasn't sure if he liked being called either one. He didn't think of himself as confused as much as he believed people just didn't explain the more important things in life to him. Like, don't suck so much. Don't. These aren't like things you need to be taught. Again, it wasn't because he wasn't listening or lacked intelligence. Actually, he was brilliant in certain topics, would collect large amounts of facts or statistics about his favorite ones, and talk incessantly about them on a regular basis. Yeah, he's such a genius. See, again, he wrote this book and he's describing himself as like a self-described genius. It wasn't because he was lacking intelligence. Actually, he was brilliant.
He's like he's 14 and the boy is 15. This Alex character, and they're just sitting in their jail cell, I guess, reading Plato and Socrates and Marcus Aurelius. Yes, my fine sir.
Sipping wine from a chalice before they then go and someone else, I guess. After our second private session together, Dr. Riley changed my diagnosis from childhood schizophrenia for that of autism, or rather, a mild form of autism marked by impairments in social interaction and repetitive behavior. I was what he called high functioning for someone with autism, which actually kind of puzzled him at first and fascinated him at second. As a rather young pediatrician, I was one of Samuel's very first autistic patients. Like, it's a fucking...
They're like jumping through hoops to label this shit. Whereas, like, can you not tell the pediatrician, like, hey, yeah, there's all that, autistic, I may have schizophrenia. Also, I got as a child. Like, can we talk about that a little?
Yeah.
Does that play a role in anything, perhaps, doctor? Do you concur?
Plato would. Damien's addiction was indeed bad. Coupled with his behavioral deficits, sex became an all-absorbing interest that dominated both his thoughts and conversations. An autistic sex addict. While living with his stepdad, Damien invited boys over, either to his place or a place of privacy of the boys' choice, so that Damien could provide them with pleasure. On one side was the quick sexual release. On the other, to Damien's benefit, was the getting rid of pent-up pain and insecurity. For him, sex was stronger than any drug. So that, I guess... Yeah, that means that he should have people, I guess. It's a rationalization.
The pent-up pain. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. I also get pent up with pain. Okay.
Chapter 14, Group Therapy. It was just under 10 minutes of waiting when Damien was first introduced to Nurse Jessie Robertson. I know where this is going. One of the psychiatric nurses, albeit the only male nurse Damien had seen on Star, worked with, plus the most formidable. Walking out from the nurse's station came a young 6'7" tall black man who was immediately intimidating. He reminded me a lot of Corporal Jackson back at Mount Lowe Academy. He towered over us three boys.
Oh, so hold on. Corporal Jackson was also black.
Yes, that was another one. That was he knows every single black person.
Wait. We must be at least at a dozen references now. At a dozen racial
dozen black
obsessions.
People. He towered over us three boys and didn't look, at least to me, at all happy to see. Far from it. I thought I'd been caught doing something bad, and this huge male nurse was there to deliver my punishment. Thankfully,
this is such fucking
it's
porn.
Such porn. Yeah, I know. Thankfully, my first impression was false, completely wrong. Nurse Robertson, or just Jessie, worked with both teenage victims and offenders within the same group. He believed that the problem lied in the hands of both victim and violator, and treating them together helped in humanizing each other's role. What?
So the
support group was combined. Yeah, right. No way. Fuck off.
What the fuck was Jessie's problem? The problem lied in the hands of victim? How?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
It's a support group of victims and violators all together.
Yeah, like, all right, come on, Billy. Look, you got he you. Let's just shake hands, all right? Shake hands.
There's good people on both sides.
You both did wrong.
Yeah.
What? This is such fucking pedophile fantasy.
I know.
Of being like, well, yeah, but she was asking for it.
Well, yeah, it is just pedophile fantasy where like he wants to, yeah, you know, I'm this kid, but you know, he kind of was asking for it, and now I have this big black man mediating between us.
Yeah.
Punishing us and loving us.
Twice that I know of, Dr. Riley wanted to get my parents involved in my healing process. Failing in getting them involved beyond one scheduled meeting with which no one showed up for, told the all-important story of my so-called family dynamics, of which there was no family in order to have any dynamics. Yeah, because you fucked on their bed.
Right.
Like,
and killed the family dog.
Victim. So acting like a victim. That too painted a living picture of abandonment. In fact and indeed, I had been devalued as a human being and nullified as being a family member. You can take it from here. Oh, right. Just so context, this is chapter 15, Detours to Adulthood. He gets let free and he has to find a home, basically. So he gets, his French grandfather takes him in.
Oh, bonjour, bon appetit. You want cheese on your oubrelet? Grandpa, please. You know, I'll never learn to pas franchon. Your eggs, you want cheddar or fatimia? What? That white cheese? The white kind, por favor. Por favor. What? Is it? Okay, I don't know.
Continue.
Wait. Damien responded, defiantly saying please, but in Spanish, not French. Oh, okay.
Ooh, what a bad boy.
Yeah.
So intelligent, this Damien guy. Okay, wait. And to continue, he was there for about 2 weeks with his grandfather, who, from all accounts in the book, was very generous with Damien. Like, he took him in and gave him a place he was feeding him clearly and helping him find a job and stuff. And then for some reason, Damien went and bought a gun and brought it home.
Jesus.
Which is his grandfather had an issue with. So this is very continuous. They like, yeah, you'll find out.
Wait, how old is he here now at this point?
17.
Okay.
Maybe I did learn some things, if that's what you mean. None. What do you mean? Well, Damien cleared his throat. Of course, there's the respect issue between you and I. But I think that the greater issue for me to learn from all of this was that you gave me advice, and you did so freely. Any advice from family and friends should be listened to by the young. I am, if anything, still very young.
I like how in his fantasy he's so eloquent.
Eloquent, yeah, and not like shitting and pissing and rocking on the floor.
Sticking his tongue out, like shivering.
We saw how eloquent he was when he was having this kind of debate with Chris. But also, like, this is like such like Reddit behavior, like then everyone clapped kind of behavior.
Yeah. And then I owned my fucking, my conservative uncle got drunk and racist at Thanksgiving dinner, and I owned him so bad. And I said, I had no reason whatsoever to buy that rifle, grandfather. I wasn't planning to go small game hunting or shoot for ducks. So why was I buying it? You may riddle. This made it clear that I was far more a kid in your eyes for the senselessness of it. And if nothing else, grandfather, that's a reason for me to leave your home. The senselessness of it. Grandpa repeated this phrase with a subtle nod. Smiling, he added, maybe buying that gun did make an adult of you, not the having of it, but being able to see the senselessness of a child. His grandfather left the room, only to return moments later with the rifle still sealed up in its box. Oh, arms! Which means to arms.
Oh my God. So he convinced his father to keep him there in the house because he had this moment of deep introspection, realization of the senselessness of children. And his grandfather nodded and was like, yes, you're right. Wow, you've matured so much. You may
Yeah, I'm not
here.
exactly, I'm struggling to follow what the fuck that even, like, how does it follow that he's not senseless?
Well, because he's understood it, and now his grandfather has approved of him understanding it.
Oh, so he's like, yeah, yes, you're right, grandfather, it is senseless. And the grandfather
he won a Reddit argument, and now
right.
he's fucking. This is all made up and imaginary in his brain.
Au contraire, Damien. You should be embarrassed. Now we're stuck with that thing. I'll put it somewhere safe. Hold on to it until you're truly a man. I propose the bot. We have other things to take care of today. Au revoir. The lumber store awaits.
I don't know why his grandfather is such a Willy Wonka style character.
I know, because it's a fucking cartoon that he's writing in his head.
About a French man.
Yeah.
It's so cartoonish. Like, he only exists in stereotypes. This is literally like if Chris Chan was a pedophile.
Je ne pas s'il vous plaît. Oh mon Dieu, Damien. Chapter 16, Making House Calls.
Okay, wait. Yeah, so the time was coming that, yeah, it actually kind of self-explains itself. Continue.
Who am I reading here? Whose quote is this?
Yeah.
Okay. The day came that we talked about. I was no longer a minor, and as agreed, I'd no longer be a burden. I was feeling a mix of sadness and eagerness to start my new life with my former doctor, Samuel Riley, whom I'd called several times since the day Grandpa located his number. Dr. Riley. Did Riley not even give them his number? They had to look him up in the phone book.
Well, I mean, it's his doctor. You're going to find out how fucking, like, unbelievable this shit is as it continues.
Okay.
This is his remember, it was his doctor who diagnosed him with autism or whatever, or schizophrenia after getting, when he was arrested in juvie. Yeah.
Dr. Riley invited me to not only stay in his guest bedroom, but had a job lined up for me. I would be working in his office as his office manager.
When would this ever happen? Like, what?
Yeah, this sounds like those, like when you read about a woman, like a female psychiatrist or something running off with one of the inmates, you know? Like she'll help him break out or something.
At the time, I'd believed that the real source of the troubles was that monster of sexual inappropriateness showing its ugly head again. I was not doing anything that could be called sexual, but it clearly made a few young ladies uncomfortable to be around me. Sex was an excessive interest that just seemed so significant and casual to bring up in routine conversation.
Oh my god! So he was harassing people, like women that would come to like the practice. Basically,
he was a coomer. Yeah,
he was a very uncomfortable individual who was probably like joking about sex and like staring at their tits and stuff. Probably,
yeah,
drooling.
Yeah, Dr. Riley's really handsome, huh? Yeah, I like him too. I wish. Yeah, you want to him?
Do you know any black people?
Hey, that's like the bad part of town, if you know what I mean.
Jesus.
It was this. It was this sort of socially inappropriate behavior that made people in general uncomfortable with me, and uncomfortable for Samuel and Nick.
Wait, who's Nick?
That's Nick, Samuel's boyfriend.
Wait, who the fuck? Okay.
The doctor's boyfriend. So the doctor is gay as well.
Oh, okay.
However, neither of my benefactors kicked me out of their house. All that they asked was that I fly under the radar and to tone it down a bit or more. I think that what made things particularly uncomfortable was that there was not just one or two gay men living in a house together in a society, but now there were three. What would the
in
neighbors
California?
think?
No way.
Yeah, I know.
What would the neighbors think was going on next door? However, I wasn't lovers with either of them. Instead, as it turned out, I was something more important.
Oh my god. He's the fucking missing piece. He's the missing piece. He's the Deus Ex Machina.
So in his fantasy, and his therapist trying to cure him of his gayness that allegedly prescribed him fucking antipsychotics for being gay, also invited to live with him and his gay boyfriend in a gay polycule.
Yes, exactly.
What the fuck is that? That doesn't track at all. I see what the other cellmate meant now by he had 4 characters named Steve. Like none of this makes sense.
No, like four Samuels. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's incoherent as fuck.
If I made any phone calls right now asking my cup,
by the way, I skipped over,
this is the doctor. This is the doctor.
Oh, sorry. But I wanted to say, like, when he goes, what would the neighbors think? Like, he's already titillated again. Like,
what if they knew? that there's
They
like
knew how
3 gay
naughty
boys
I
here.
was.
Yeah.
So where this conversation here is alternating between the doctor and Damien about his diagnosis. So first the doctor.
Okay. If I made any phone calls right now, asking my colleagues and old college buddies if they've ever heard of Dr. Asperger or autistic psychopathy before, or had a patient with it, they'll most likely say, "What is that?" Maybe they would if it wasn't so hard to pronounce. Damien then quietly mouths the phrase autistic psychopathy over and over again. I think I liked it better when I was just high-functioning autism. It's easier to say. How about, between the two of us, we just call it Asperger's, Dr. Riley suggested, not knowing for certain that this would precisely be what mental health professionals would be calling it in the 1980s and still today. I like that he's taking credit for like inventing this.
Yeah, he was the first Asperger's, and so like he's literally claiming right here that they created the term Asperger's.
Well, they can't directly claim that they invented the condition because it's literally in the name. It's some Dr. Asperger's that made it up.
No, but they're claiming
like,
that they came up with the name that it would eventually be called. They coined the phrase.
But they're like, I am patient 0. Like, I am the first one to ever have this.
Yeah. How this developed, by the way, is like fucking Damien walks in the house library or whatever, and the doctor is sitting in like a leather chair sipping a glass of wine while reading a book that said like Dr. Asperger's trials on like autistic people or something. Asperger, like you know. Yeah, and then he's like, "What are you reading?" And then they go into that conversation about how he's he doesn't think that Damien is actually autistic and that he's got something. This is like severe.
Dr. Riley's like abandoned home for gay child or something. Like he's Dr. Xavier sitting there in this fucking gravity chair, and fucking Damien is coming in like one of the child mutants. Like, what are you reading, Professor? What the fuck? And the professor is like, "I'll teach you to hone your child abilities."
Yeah. If so this is chapter 17, Turning Wheels. Yeah, so this is from Damien again. During the years that followed, I regularly felt like a fifth wheel in their home. Only occasionally did I feel warmth or as a friend by Nick. What did I do to cause him not to like me very much? Well, that happens to be fairly easy. Sam was very much in love with me. No, Jesus I don't mean in a sexual manner. I mean that I was a fascination in every sense of the word. A puzzle he couldn't quite finish, yet was unwilling to give up on. And yes, there was endearment too. Samuel doted on me in ways that made Nick, his true lover, quite jealous. This is such fucking... It's so gay fan fiction. This is like 50 Shades of Grey.
It is. I was going to say it is exactly 50 Shades of Grey. This is like, I've never read it, but I assume it's like when the young woman enters the billionaire's crib and then the billionaire's wife gets jealous or some shit.
Exactly.
Or one of the other girls.
He chose me over him.
Yeah. I'm a diamond in the rough from the slums, and here's this rich VIP it girl, and she's jealous of me.
He says the way I rock is very attractive.
Can you do that when I you?
Chapter 18, Nightlife. On the day they boarded their flight to this conference, Damien asked Samuel what the doctor saw in him that wasn't obvious to the rest of the world. What I love about you, Damien, is what I see in your heart, in your soul. It's a good one. Well, you got that wrong. a three-time convicted felon, right. Eventually.
The way that you that 12-year-old.
Not the best judge of character. During their second night in a hotel room together, Damien took Sam's romantic overtures to the next level, engaging in an ill-advised sexual experience. Samuel awoke the following morning stating that what they'd done was a mistake. Damien didn't take this rejection well, and the tension which followed continued to build even after they returned home to Nick.
By the way, just like a paragraph before, he was saying, "Oh, it wasn't sexual. Just like he was obsessed with me as a patient, like as a case study."
Then he took me to a conference and me in a hotel room. Again, yeah, immediately they rented a fan fiction.
They immediately rented a hotel room to.
I'm pretty sure this is genuinely a scene from like 50 Shades of Grey. Like he's just taking things from other fiction.
Yeah, switch out hotel room for private jet.
And there you go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
50 Shades of Grey.
So then Nick starts accusing Damien of stealing his mother's wedding ring or something like that. And so Nick says, "Sure, I knew you'd take his side," Nick accused. "What's that supposed to mean?" Samuel approached his lover. "You're always so quick to defend your little boy toy." "You're wrong," Dr. Riley insisted. "Damien wouldn't." "Wouldn't what?" Nick interrupted. "Wouldn't steal my mother's ring or wouldn't be your boy toy? Pick one, because it sure as hell ain't both." "He didn't take the ring," Sam insisted. However, as all three of them noted, Samuel wasn't willing to say anything about the second accusation.
Jesus Christ.
"I want him out of here," Nick said to Sam, then turned to reiterate directly at Damien as if the boy were deaf. "Out of here! Don't." This is so gay. Like,
I know. Is this what a polycule breakup is like?
Yeah.
See, it never works.
God.
Always be monogamous, even if you're gay.
"Don't talk to him like that," Sam once again defended. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult your freeloading retarded do-nothing kleptomaniac." Oh, did I forget to include homewrecker, guinea pig? End quote.
Freeloading retarded do nothing.
Someone in chat said, "This is an autobiography by a person who has only read smut books."
Yeah,
So
seriously.
true. It's so true.
Oh yeah, Chad. So Chad is right. It should have been freeloading retarded racist do nothing kleptomaniac. Are Samuel and Nick black, by the way?
No, they're white. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure.
no?
Well, it's not mentioned. If it's not mentioned, I'm assuming they're white.
Okay.
Remember everything we've read and then go back to what that fucking philosopher wrote in the fucking prelude about how brilliant this guy is and how he deserves to be back in public.
And then the rest of it is just smut.
He just read a smut book.
It's like getting a.
He just read a smut book. He's like, "Oh wow, this is so deep."
If the foreword for 50 Shades of Grey was written by like Stephen Hawking right before he died, like what does this have to do with each other?
It's so all clearly just fucking two guys who were convicted to life in prison just writing fiction for each other to jerk off to.
Also, I like how at the very beginning there was like it was more narrator heavy, more as a I don't know how to like almost like a documentary type book. And now it's just a straight up novel. This is just like a fucking straight up characters talking to each other.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. All right, it continues. "The more I considered it, prostitution wasn't that bad of an occupation. I recognized that I had one high... What?
Now he's a fucking gay hooker.
Yeah. Well, okay, so wait. Nick kicks him out and he has to, like, Samuel puts him up in a hotel, pays for like a week of rent or whatever, but then he has to look after himself.
Mm-hmm.
So then he turns to prostitution, yeah. "I recognized that I had one highly experienced and marketable skill, which was bisexual sex." The only thing that he could do is what everyone else can also do. "I knew how to please either gender. However, Johns are almost never female unless married to someone interested in threesomes. How bad could that be? I would have sex and get paid for it, maybe even sharpen my existing skills. The first lesson that I had to learn was the need to operate as far under the radar as was possible. This would be fairly easy for me, since I'd been doing precisely that from when I was 10 years young. I bought a pair of denim jeans 2 sizes too small and a tank top muscle shirt, even though I had little physique to speak of. The no muscles part would turn out to be an advantage because I looked even younger and vulnerable by being a scrawny blonde."
How is this under the radar dressing as like a stereotypical gay hooker?
Again, this is all stereotypes. This is all he knows.
Super tight jeans and a tank top.
Just remember, it's so hard to remember this, but the guy writing this, remember who walks in to Chris Hansen's fucking room? That fat, obese, sweaty looking dude, homeless man.
Yeah.
Within minutes of me walking out of my motel room, all of the other prostitutes knew what I was up to. Even the undercover police in the area would know. So he wasn't undercover. He wasn't under the radar then. What do you mean?
At all.
2 sentences later. It took only a few minutes until I was sitting nervously in a passenger seat of a complete stranger's car. There I was, an almost 22-year-old, okay, so he's 22 now, almost 22-year-old, college-educated, he wasn't college-educated, somewhat handsome and gay white guy, and the nearest thing I had as a job, as an office, was the street corner of Salem and Vine. I sold my only recognizable talents, which for me was limited to oral meaning it wasn't kinky. I don't know about you, but it's pretty kinky.
What else would you do? Like, I guess on them or something? Or get on?
Yeah, I don't know. However, if it would increase my income, I was willing to learn more about any sexual acts. Yet I wasn't risky. In fact, some Johns called me picky about what I was willing to do and with whom. Then came the realities of prostitution. What I'd once presumed as an easy line of work was anything but. First, there was the concern about... What?
Prostitution isn't easy and fun?
Yeah. No. First, there was the concern about the law ever catching on or doing an undercover cop sting as a John looking for a prostitute. Second, although there wasn't yet the fear of AIDS and HIV, it existed, but didn't even have an official virus name yet. There was the concern about catching any of the other dozens of STDs, plus the fact that they were even more contagious when anal sex was involved. The most common were chlamydia and gonorrhea. Both would let you know when you had them by giving you a horrible burning sensation every time you urinated. Sometimes a disgusting or bloody discharge would leave your body part. Very gross. Yeah, this sounds like a great life.
Yeah. What an amazing... But I just realized, by the way, when he says it wasn't... Remember, this is a pedophile.
Yeah,
so to him, you know, you just want... Yeah, sure, I guess. Yawn.
Yeah. Lame. The third and scariest of all was death. Johns were known to be over-aggressive with their horse. I'm laughing at his self-described.
I know, and it's such a
title.
Like
it's
pornified.
He gets off on it.
Yeah.
I'm such a whore.
Ugh.
Johns were known to be over-aggressive with their whores, beat them whenever it pleased them, or straight up murder a prostitute, simply for fun or whatever personal reasons. No, I was trying to keep myself safe. However, you can't always judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the most quiet and passive Johns turn out to be the most violently explosive. Chapter 19, Striking Home. So the context for this chapter was Samuel comes back and he's like, I've broken up with... the other guy's name. Can't remember his name. But I broke up with the other guy. Nick. Now you can move back in with me. Okay. He dreamt events like this before, where Sam would rescue him from that dismal motel room. This thought suddenly triggered a concern. But what about Tony and Carl? Who? Oh, your friends staying with you at the motel? If I'm not there, they'll be back on the street. Damien, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm sorry, but... No, I don't mean that they'd live with us or that you'd have to get them an apartment too, but I have a few dollars. Maybe we can give them 2 weeks rent. I'll even give them my electric grill. I know Carl would like that. Carl and Tony, by the way, were 2 street urchin kids that were also living with Sam, which is obviously a terrifying fucking concept.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor continues, your heart never ceases to amaze me, Damien.
Mm-hmm. Such a big heart, such a nice guy, really.
Yeah, fucking incredible. The true humanity. I was 23 in the summer of 1981, and because of me, we moved to our first house together. I was living in Hollywood, however, had no intentions or qualifications of becoming a movie star. What I did have, this is like a movie script almost. Like he's trying, again, it's like fucking Forrest Gump or something. What I did have was some meat on my bones, which I never really had before. Sam called them love handles and frequently used them as such, as well as my having a man who not only cared so deeply for me, but foolishly trusted me in ways that he probably never should have. Chapter 22, Rescue and Search.
Chat's called it twink death.
Yeah. Well, he's getting love handles already by the sounds of it, so he's already putting on some weight.
Yeah.
You can take the next 2 chapters if you want.
22. Chapter 22. Rescue and Search.
When Mark's wife got home, she didn't only look forward to getting loaded, but in getting screwed. We engaged... Who was Mark?
Sorry. So it's his 24th birthday, or maybe 25th birthday, one of his birthdays. Actually, 25th. He goes down the street and meets a drug dealer in the neighborhood to buy drugs off him to celebrate his 25th birthday. Mark is that guy.
When Mark's wife got home, she didn't only look forward to getting loaded, but in getting screwed. We engaged in a drug-enhanced menage a trois, a wild exhibition in which I'm not at liberty to discuss. This isn't that type of book. Thanks for the reminder. I was getting hard over here, like just reading all this and jerking off. I thought, my bad.
Yeah, as if.
Yeah. I mean, up until this point, it's been a pretty serious medical text, you know?
Yes.
After finishing the last of the freebase, as it's called, I dragged myself home at around 9, and if coming home late with the scent and walk of shame all over wasn't bad enough, I was still higher than the Empire State Building. Chapter 20...
Wait. So this is that's what started like a drug addiction, basically, with him, apparently. Like, he became addicted to drugs and... what do you call them? LSD and shit like that. Freebase, whatever freebase is.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck freebase is. So he's walking out on Samuel and coming home, doing the walk of shame.
Yeah. Now he's coming back there.
All right.
But now he's drug addicted. as well as everything else.
Chapter 21, Tackling Monsters. One summer afternoon, it's been a while since we heard from the narrator. One summer afternoon, Damien went into Samuel's bedroom. While the doctor was at work, loaded several rounds into his Remington pump-action 22 caliber rifle, opened the back door of their house, took aim at the back fence, and fired. He unloaded 3 shots into the planks of fencing. Why? Why? I simply saw a person climbing over the fence and was in fear of my life. The fact is, there was no person on the fence. I was in no real danger. The cocaine I had used that morning had magnified my sense of being watched and that there were people out to cause me harm. This paranoia had built up and became so bad that I felt impulse to grab my rifle and defend myself, using the bullets I swore to Samuel that I'd never ever touch without his permission. Unfortunately, this firing of the rifle wasn't a victimless crime. Although Damien was only aiming at a vacant fence, one of the shots which penetrated the wood found second target on its own.
No, but on its own, like it had its own agenda. Damien was just a like bystander. No, that's not what I meant to do with it.
Like it was curving like Bullet Bill. What are you talking about? Beyond the backyard of their home was a man-made storm gully approximately 30 feet across. Beyond this culvert were the backsides of several small businesses, a liquor store, a dry cleaners, and, most importantly to our story, a gas station. An entirely innocent man who was busily filling up his car and minding his own business was shot by Damien. Jesus.
Imagine your life. Yeah, imagine not fucking filling up your car one morning and you just get shot in the neck randomly from some fucking lunatic drug addict pedophile from across the street.
Yeah, some junkie pedo shoots you. And the way he tries to like, he's still trying to dampen his own assholishness too. Like, I was on drugs. I wasn't trying to shoot him. I bet he was on drugs, but I also bet he was like trying to aim out of his bedroom window or something, or taking pot shots at people, because that's just what junkies do.
Yeah.
Which is why you don't let fucking felons have weapons. This innocent man, for no reason at all, had become my victim. I thought at the time I fired my rifle at nothing but empty space. At some villain I thought he was shooting at a possible intruder. At some villain working for county agency out to get me. What? And behold, I did end up hitting someone near the base of his neck. Jesus. Above the joint of the collarbone, mere millimeters from killing him, but enough to put him in critical condition for days. While I was being housed in the old county jail, I was classified according to a number of characteristics. As it turned out, I was determined by staff as both soft and gay. And I'd be housed accordingly. To this day, I still don't know they came to this conclusion.
I don't know how they came to this conclusion.
I don't know how they came to this conclusion.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe they read your manifesto.
How did they know I'm gay?
Yeah. What gave you that impression?
Me sucking. The end of Damien's freedom came at the moment when the jury read its verdict.
He'd been found guilty of assault with a deadly weapon, although acquitted of the more serious charge of attempted murder, which the overambitious deputy district attorney tacked on at his arraignment, hence the need for the costly jury trial. Indeed, Damien freely admits that he was reckless when he fired his rifle at his fence. However, the intent to hurt anyone at all just couldn't logically be proven in a courtroom. For this reason, the fact that Damien hadn't actually been aiming at anyone with his rifle, the sentencing judge would impose a rather lenient sentence, the statute minimum of 3 years in state prison.
Oh, fucking good.
Man, was I lucky or what? I mean, I deserved and could have received up to 9 years. If the jury had found me guilty of attempted murder, which my court-appointed public defender never believed as a reality, I would have spent the rest of my life in prison. They just said 9 years. Instead, the sentence of only 3 years for nearly killing an innocent man is astonishingly short, especially when compared to California's current liberalism of dishing out 2 life sentences as if they were pieces of Halloween candy. Man, how things have changed, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I also like how he's saying there, like how it's such a bad thing that California is like dishing out 2 life sentences, as if he wasn't just given a very lenient sentence for almost killing a person.
Yeah, seriously. Like, even back then, they actually were lenient, but I guess among criminals, they just still thought like, they had life sentences out like candy over here. And now it's like, you can literally 20 people at the subway and they just give you a medal.
Who are the real monsters to society? The ones committing.
Right, here's philosophy.
The ones committing crimes are the lawmakers, who, after years of campaigning promises of being tougher on crime, have locked up nearly 1/10 of the state's population. If I had committed the same crime I'd committed in 1982, in the year 2012, I would have become a financial burden on state taxpayers for the remainder of my life, as well as never been able to experience the further events of this book.
It's that's probably better than you being a burden on society in society. And also, I'm fine with you just dying, honestly. Like, you should have just been executed, and then we don't have to have to pay tax on it or anything like that. You could have he's arguing for his own death.
The arrogance too of saying, well, if I had been rotting in prison, I never could have written this book.
Yeah. Which involves talking about 2 other felonies that are yet to come of and people. Yeah, well, yeah.
Thank you, I guess, Damien. Chapter 22, Graveyards for the Living.
While taxpayers are unwilling, paying for those inmates who fail to complete high school, many of whom aren't even citizens of this nation, and helping them towards earning their diplomas, the rest of these prisoners who already graduated in one way or another waste their time and those taxpayer dollars.
He keeps bringing up taxpayer money.
As if he's paying any tax, I know.
Yeah, what is... He's trying to play to the normal human heartstrings here or something. Like, hey man, isn't it a waste of your money to I don't know, punish me for kids? Come on.
I know, yeah. It's so fucking...
Fuck you.
He's seen online what people are arguing about now. He's like, oh yeah, I can get in on that. Taxes. Yeah. That's what people hate.
Yeah, seriously.
They spend hours drawing artwork, playing sports, or other forms of recreation without any true rehabilitation or job skills provided, doomed to reoffend upon their release. Were you ever in juvie? Danny asked, and Damien went on for about 10 minutes about how he'd gotten 2 girls drunk and screwed them both. Neither of the 3 other inmates believed a word of this. Instead, Danny got confrontational. Are you gay? They fucking him immediately. They knew. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you had a threesome. Yeah. Okay, Damien, we get it. They were both black. Okay, thank you. We're in juvie. We're all black. All right, we get it. Yeah, well, I'm bisexual.
What's Jim was about to ask until Danny interrupted. You like both boys and girls? Danny asked, and Damien nodded. Well, that doesn't make you a bad guy. We just need to know if you have a man yet. Do you? Damien decided. They're oddly accepting in prison, huh? In California, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't believe anything, so there's no point debating it.
Damien decided that he should take up Danny's unspoken offer to be his pimp. What? Wait a minute. Oh, because he said, "Do you have a man yet?"
Yeah.
Okay. Damien decided that he would. Jesus, I'm having a stroke. That he should take up Danny's unspoken offer to be his pimp, to be his own private prostitute. Danny, of course, accepted under one condition. He wanted me to take care of him and Sally's sexual needs starting immediately. With that said, Danny told me that Jim needed a while he got some backs. Ugh. Jim, the unkempt boy, smelled like he hadn't been bathed in weeks, with or without those disgusting jeans on. So I went ahead and took care of both of their sexual needs. Somehow I knew I'd be paying for those drags off of that joint, one way or another. Nothing in prison came without a cost.
Like he wasn't begging for this.
Keep in mind, everybody, you two Jackson,
he's getting
and
hard
chat.
to this. Yeah.
No, this is not that kind of book, everybody. Okay, let's keep it in our pants before you get any ideas. This is not that kind of book.
This is purely scientific. This is autobiography.
Yes. There were two, as he's like musk maxing here, like his musk. I could smell this unwashed black
sweaty,
man through his
dirty jeans.
Yeah, his fucking jumpsuit. The stripes and the ball and chain turned me on. There were two creatures that would pop out late at night. One was Mark's lust, and the other were actual insects, the water bugs. Now, these water bugs were basically really big beetles of the genus family Belostomatidae, some big enough to carry one's boots away on the backs, or so the myth goes, and they were bigger than Mark liked. I took care of his needs, anyway, both the dick-sucking and the buck-squashing. Okay. That's like a random. This is such fucking odd storytelling.
It's so gross. So this is chapter 23. Oops, I did it again. I was able to reread all of the old letters Sam had written to me while I was in Tracy. Tracy is the prison that he was in. There weren't many, but you see, he never wrote anyone else more than me, and there weren't many at that. He constantly talks about his caring about me and that I could return as his housemate upon my release. 2 letters talked about coming to visit me while I was at Tracy, which he did once. From Huntington Beach to Tracy would take 8 or 9 hours of driving each way. That's a lot of hours to be away from his medical practice, and just to visit little old me. But now it's about half an hour away, so he moved prisons.
His medical practice, quote unquote, by the way, is just an adoption agency for like wayward gay boys that he then like lets live with him and touches.
Yeah. I just remembered about this whole arc here. It was getting closer and closer for Sam and I to start talking about and making parole plans. For that, I was happy. I was short timing it, as we called those running low of their sentence. Not wanting to do anything that would jeopardize my approaching release date, I wouldn't actually have any hope if it wasn't for Sam and for the friends I made at CMC. Yes, I did say the unheard of word friend, didn't I? Inmates aren't supposed to make friends in prison, but a friend is exactly what Charlie would become, and in record time too. This is a chapter about another prison inmate named Charlie who he starts to become a friend with. Charlie Osborne was a young African-American man whom Damien had seen at Tracy DVI. They'd both been in the same auto repairs class, yet, due to their differences in race, didn't socialize. Charlie and I rarely said more than a couple of words to each other at DVI, and the ones we did were primarily in our mechanics class to or fro the tools cage. No, it wasn't until CMC that we both began having brief conversations, one of which included us sharing the fact that we were both gay and even attracted to each other. However, naturally, we kept this information a secret from anyone else, plus never acted on our impulses until we knew each other better. Oh yeah, so this is one of their first meetings. I don't remember him. Oh, Damien noticed Charlie's demeanor. You're fucking with me. Yeah, I wish, Charlie replied, both stating his humorous side and hidden sexual desire with the same phrase. Nonetheless, we did the impossible. We risked the prejudice of an openly gay black guy. I love how he paints himself up as a hero, like a fucking trendsetter. Or
Yeah,
like
I was so open-minded. Also, what is the
Yeah.
risk of prejudice? This prison sounds like pretty open-minded.
Yeah.
Especially if the gay... He says the black guy was openly gay, so everybody already knows.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. We risk the prejudice of an openly gay black guy hanging around a questionably queer white guy. Being of two different races meant that we'd publicly be rejected by anyone racist, especially someone of our own race. However, since this was a super soft yard, only a handful of inmates at CMC still held on to such hatred. Then came the assumptions. The fact that Charlie was knowingly gay and I was hanging out with him. It would be assumed that I was getting sex from him before either of us even started doing so. Certainly, neither of us could do...
Sorry, you know what I just realized? When they said like, oh, this guy's super soft and gay, they put them in the pedo yard. You know how today that like, so the pedophiles don't get shanked in prison, they give them their whole own yard where they all hang out with each other. That's why everyone's so cool. They're like, yeah, we're all kind of gay creeps.
Yeah, let's all have fucking gay sex.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Certainly neither of us could do as our bodies desire with all of this attention bearing down on us. They're like the fucking celebrities of the prison, I guess.
Mhm.
Everywhere they go, there's paparazzi. Certainly neither of us, yeah, of course, there's the first interracial gay couple in prison. They were very famous.
Yeah.
Certainly, neither of us could do as our bodies desire with all of this attention bearing down on us. Still, due to how drop-dead handsome Charlie Oops physically was, jealousy was building amongst the homosexual community to the point where I needed to keep my distance from the other gays in order to keep my teeth in my mouth and my skin on my face. No, these threats to my body and life caused me to do whatever I could to get around this hatred in my world. I like Charlie, but not enough to fully engage him in some much desired hot desired equally by both parties, mind you, regardless of how cute he was. And as I've said, I found him to be gorgeous.
Jesus Christ. This is 50 Shades of Gay. Like, pointless fucking just exposition of how handsome he found this black dude. Like, what the fuck does have any of this to do with the three strikes law right now? Like, this is not a case study at all. He's just going on and swooning.
Nothing at all. Like, the extent of his trauma, which I guess he was building up to be like his trauma that he experienced that caused him to be a pedophile with 3 strikes, 3 felonies or whatever, is like his parents broke up early and then his dad was abusive, which, by the way, it sounds like his dad was rightfully abusive because he kept fucking underage women in his bed and stuff like that. So yeah, fair enough.
Getting drunk.
So the extent of like his trauma and stuff, like, yeah, he did get molested, but also by other teenagers. But I also kind of believe that he probably is not being honest there, and he probably did molest other people. He was probably the main instigator.
100%. Even right now, by the way, this like retelling was, it's just humble bragging. Like, yeah, all the other gays in prison were so jealous because Charlie only had eyes for me. The big, handsome black guy only wanted me, but we just couldn't, so I had to bite my lips.
Yeah. I don't believe, yeah, I don't, the trauma, the entire premise of this book was to like write out his backstory and make him a compassionate, like, individual who deserves a second chance because of his rough
sympathetic
upbringing.
Character.
Yeah, but his upbringing is like, he's demonstrably, like, even in his own retelling, a fucking horrible person, a gross person who I want in prison. So, yeah. Damien admitted to me during the compiling of this book that it's difficult to understand how he could freely offer himself up to inmates such as Danny the Pimp, Jim the Sloth, or Mark the Biker. Sounds like a children's book now.
Jimmy
with his characters.
Jim the Sloth. By the way, okay, hold on. Now I'm confused. Like, what is the issue if he did Charlie Oops? He was already sucking everyone's again.
I have no clue. I guess
in prison,
Charlie was highly sought material. Everyone wanted Charlie. No one wanted Jim the Sloth or Mark the Biker.
Jim the Sloth.
None of whom he was attracted to. Jim was the exact opposite of gorgeous, and yet Damien seemed paranoid to become sexually involved with this man he did find amazingly sexy and handsome. Hey, oops, Damien started, jabbing his friend with his forefinger to catch his attention. Can I ask you something serious? Depends what you mean by serious. He didn't want to wreck the current mood of their night out together. Where do you see our relationship going? He asked straightforward. Where do you want it to end up, Damien? Well, I want to wake up to find you in my bed. Oh, that's good, because that's something that I'd love too. How can we do that? Damien asked.
What is this lame ass dialogue, by the way?
Putting his warm arm around Damien's shoulder, Oops said, This place is amazingly cool for being a prison. We'd never get to see the hills all dressed up with tall grass at Tracy. Yeah. Damien tilted his head towards his best friend. What are they? They're having a fucking romantic picnic date at this prison?
I was about to say, by the way, like, he didn't want to wreck the current mood of their night out together. Where? In the yard?
Yeah, they're walking by candlelight. What is this prison? And he still has the balls to say at the start, like, prison is such a hard place to live. We should reform it. Why? It sounds like a proverbial fucking Garden of Eden.
Sounds like gay heaven.
Yeah.
Sounds like we should put them all in there. What the fuck?
Why would you want to reform this? It sounds great for you. Putting his warm arm. Wait, what did I say?
Chad is asking, is everyone gay at this prison? It's like one of those books, yeah. All it's missing is like a fucking werewolf on the cover that he's about to run it.
I was going to say, this book would probably go pretty hard if it was re-released now for Book Talk. And just remove the element of it actually being like connected to a child predator.
Could he sue us if we re-release this, I wonder? Like, just
let's fucking try it.
Edit the beginning parts and just only make him gay, not a pedophile.
Yeah.
So the hick dad is only beating him up for being gay. I bet that would actually work, unlike the TikTok girlies.
Yeah, we should try that. Fuck it. I don't mind getting sued by Damien. I'd welcome it. Damien tilted his head towards his best friend. Charlie, how about if we just sit and take in the moment and the season and all this blessed quiet? With that said, they sat and quietly enjoyed the peace and comfort of each other's company. Before long, Damien found a new pleasure in feeling his friend resting his beautiful head on Damien's shoulder as he ever tranquilly fell asleep. Again, what is this prison? They're just sitting down watching a sunset? None of this happened. This entire book didn't happen.
They're like on cloud 9.
What is this?
The stars are sparkling. There's a rainbow somehow in the middle of the night, and there's cupids, birds chirping. It's like a Disney movie all of a sudden.
They just came back from like the Italian restaurant at the prison.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
They're all nicely dressed, and I like how again in his fantasy, they're also eloquent. You know, Charlie's just a sweet, this blessed quiet. Yeah, because that's how inmates talk.
Yeah, and then Damien, 2 seconds later, Damien has to get up and go, it's like service Jim the Sloth again, 3rd time in one day. Like, what the fuck?
Jim the Sloth.
Chapter 4, Do Time, Don't Let Time Do You.
24.
24, sorry. My soul needed restoration. It still does. No shit. And Charlie, provided me with exactly what I loved about him. He provided his whole self, blanketed in love. The truth is that I was falling deeply in love with Charlie and not lust. We hadn't even kissed yet, hadn't even seen each other naked. No, our love for each other wasn't physical at all, regardless of how much we both wanted to take it to that level. I was glad that I was still doing time because despite being in prison, I wasn't about to let time do me.
Oh, I get it.
Dead.
Oh my God. This is all, by the way, like Samuel is getting cucked. Samuel is outside of prison still.
Yeah. He's fucked every single black man that's entered his life.
It's like, we were saying 50 Shades of Grey, but it's really one shade. Just black of gray.
Monochromatic. When the time was right, Charlie had a most pleasant and desirable surprise. He announced that we were going to make love. Finally! I was amazed. After a particularly long shift one morning, he told me, Damien, both of us deserve this chance with each other. Needless to say, I wasn't expecting it to be that very day, but was hopeful. Getting up from the dining room table, Charlie looked at Damien. Are you ready? Damien looked around the large chow hall. There were 8 other workers sporadically seated in groups of 2 among the 50 tables. You know I am, but how are we going to do this? Oh boy, Charlie chuckled. Look who is impatient. I'm not impatient, Charlie. Oops. Ignoring the remark.
I like how he does the whole like nickname thing each time, the entire name. Charlie Oops.
He's like Uru. He's going Uru mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's imagining himself probably as like a 14-year-old schoolgirl too.
Yeah, 100%. Like, how are you going to do this, Edward Cullen?
Yeah, oh my god. Ignoring the remark, Charlie asked, "What do we want right now?" Keeping his voice down, Damien replied, "I really want to make love to you." Oh my god.
Oh, what? I just read ahead. For like just a sentence.
Taking Damien's hand, Charlie walked hungrily into the smelly closet, closing the door behind them. Moving in closer, they French kissed without any further delay, stripping each other's pants and boxes down to their ankles. In case of needing a quick getaway, they left their shirts and shoes on. For more than 10 minutes, they made steamy, hot love in that awfully confined space. I never experienced anything like our lovemaking before in my life. Maybe it was the panic of getting caught, the claustrophobic conditions, and our lack of time, but we were beastly. Hot and fast. Neither of us required much to reach climax. We'd both been suffering from weeks of anticipation and anxiety.
I'm glad he warned us that this is not that kind of book.
Yeah.
My hands are sliding down to my nether regions. If they would have been if he didn't tell me not to. My goodness.
You keep reading, please.
What the motherfuck? Chapter 25. Independence. Yeah, but by me pulling the trigger, I ended up here, in prison. How could have that been part of God's plan for my life? Well, for one, it gave you the chance to meet me, Tex smiled. And me, Charlie spoke up. You would have never met me.
Wait. Okay, context. He started, they met fucking... Now. Yeah, they're going to church, prison church, and the pastor of the church is a guy named Tex, who was one of the serial killer or the murderers from the Manson group, the Charlie Manson group.
Uh-huh.
So he's like leading the fucking church
meeting of the minds
congregation here. Yeah, it's like when the Avengers all got together. We've got Tex, we've got Charlie, and we've got Damien now together in one scene.
So Charlie them in a smelly closet, and then right after when they want to go to Sunday church.
Yeah. And then again, they're like, it's like this romantic fucking scene between three gay prisoners, I guess, where they're like, well, you wouldn't have got the chance to meet me if you didn't come to prison. Aren't you glad that you shot that guy through the fence now? And me, Charlie spoke up.
Because I believe nothing exists there. We are so concerned with the things that may or may not occur when, in fact, we owe it to ourselves and our community to focus our attention on what is, on our families. Okay, yes, we need to keep in mind how our current actions will likely affect our families, our homes, including our universal home, the earth, and the potential future, but need our focus, it needs to be in the present. Where on earth did you get these ideas? Tex asked.
Wait, yeah. So they go into like this giant fucking. I didn't read it all because it was so fucking boring. But it was like this giant religious debate. Like they're having a religious conversation and stuff about faith and stuff. And he says like the most just nothing burger statements, like stuff that it's like I'm 14 and this is very deep kind of stuff. And then like everyone else responds to him like he's a fucking brilliant genius. Like Tex says, "Oh my god, where did you get these ideas? I've never heard of anything like this. You're incredible, Damien. What incredible."
It's like, those episodes of House when he has like a religious patient and they actually have like semi-interesting conversations. It's like House if it was written by a retarded pedophile. A retarded
deep thoughts.
A retarded do-nothing kleptomaniac pedophile.
Why do we address God like a man?
I don't know. What are we supposed to call him?
There, you just did it again.
Charlie chuckled out loud.
Damien you did the
paused.
wrong way around.
Well, anyway, you're right, I did. Damien paused to drink some water out of a drinking fountain and compile his thoughts on the subject.
It's not really fair to girls or women, is it? Look at it this way. Eve, the first ever woman, was made from the rib of Adam, and Adam was made in the likeness of God. Since Adam was first, I guess we just assume God is male.
Yeah, but nobody else was around in the Garden of Eden. Who's to say that God created Adam first? Maybe whoever came up with that whole story was just a male bigot.
I think you mean male chauvinistic.
Damien corrected.
Oh my fucking god. This is like a debate. He's writing debates, like shower arguments. This is so insufferable. He's actually so stupid.
He's like grammar correcting.
Yeah, he's making, again, he thinks of himself as like this fucking high IQ genius.
I know, when even the editor, Eric, his cellmate at the beginning, again, reminder, he said, this is some disheveled nonsense that he scribbled onto
From a
toilet
lunatic.
paper that I had to go through.
Also, his cellmate probably, they were probably I haven't got to that part yet, but I'm assuming since he every single man in his
you
life.
think? They were probably as he was retelling these stories.
Writing
Yeah, tell me
this,
more
yeah.
about Charlie. Yeah. Chapter 27, Future Destinations. Now that's cool, Charlie enthusiastically replied.
We'll let them pick the subject. That's why I'm glad you're our leader. Wait, what? We'll let them
No,
pick the
that's still
subject.
Charlie. That's still Charlie. Still Charlie there. Yeah, so they eventually made their own Bible study group.
Okay. We'll let them pick the subject? That's why I'm glad you're our leader.
Hold the horse, Ev,
Damien countered.
we are co-leaders.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You know I'll be leaving pretty soon. We should be finding a replacement.
Yeah,
Damien suddenly turned depressed.
but not today, right?
Taking Damien's hand for a moment in a rare and forbidden public display of affection.
Is it forbidden? Is it forbidden at this gay fucking prison, apparently? I don't think so.
This gay resort. Charlie replied, Sure, you're right. Let's focus on right now. The future will take care of itself. He's so romantic. I'll let you take the rest of it.
Chapter 28, Growing Support, the final chapter of Act 1. These last 5 chapters were all just like fucking religious Bible group debates between like 10 different people. It was exhausting.
Gosh.
I didn't include any of it.
Uh-huh.
Some nights we would return from chow to one another's cell. Then done with our... Wait, so they could just visit each other's cell whenever they want? It is a resort. This is just a hotel. Some nights we would return from chow to one another's cell. Then, done with our sex, we would shower and return to the bleachers to wait for the group to show up. Once in a while, Charlie would bring out with him a blanket for us to enjoy while we sat on the grass at the foot of those bleachers. It is just a fucking resort.
It's like a gay
They're
Truman
having
show
picnics.
where they get to like walk around freely inside this like a fucking fake town or something. Hey, want to go to the movies? Yeah, sure.
All right, that's all for this reading, this session.
Wow, that was long.
That was long,
fun.
yeah. That was fucking
Holy shit.
insane.
That was worth it. This was way better than the chat log was, or the email log rather.
It's better when you've got the full picture of everything, I think, because it makes it so much funny. Yes, that was just Act 1 chat. Someone in chat just said, wait, Act 1?
God, there was so much. If this was just a smuts book, it wouldn't be fun because then you're just reading stupid fiction. But with the added
it did get that
context
way
of
at the
this
end.
guy, like the fact that he's trying to put this off as some sort of like based on real event, not even like actual real events. That's what makes it funny. And knowing the context that he's a stupid fucking pedophile who actually did get
Pedophile that
convicted.
actually did get caught with 3 felonies.
Yeah.
I
my
believe there's
God.
truth sprinkled through there. Like his first felony was probably, he probably did shoot someone because he was high on fucking cocaine.
I'm sure
or
this was
whatever.
like, I mean, I bet the like surrounding context, I'm sure that like 70 to 80% is real. I'm sure he did get
It's
molested, then he did
yeah.
do drugs, then he did children, then he did go
It's
to
just
prison.
the over the top exaggeration in the way he
Yeah.
colors and flavors it.
Yeah, it makes himself sound smarter than he is. And he's
Yeah.
not really good at
And more
that either.
poignant, and how
Yeah.
he's a brilliant genius, and how everyone. By the way, it sounds like everyone in his life beyond his father, like as he portrays him in the book, like Dr. Samuel and shit, they wanted to help him and gave him like unlimited resources. So he really had no excuse for how he like ended up in the situation he did.
Not at all. He couldn't, like, could he not have moved in back with his grandfather instead of becoming
No,
prostitute?
his grandfather helped him. The doctor helped him. He had free healthcare and he was on medication and stuff like that. He went to like countless therapy sessions and shit like
well,
that.
the doctor did him, to be fair, but yeah. The doctor put him on the wrong path path.
Maybe. I'm sure that's what he would say, yeah, eventually. All right, that's going to do it for this criminally stupid episode because it's very long. Thank you very much for watching. Official.men, 7-day free trial. Please go sign up. That's where you get the uncensored content. Best way to get our stuff. So go there. Official.men, 7-day free trial. That was long. Let us know if you want us to continue it in the future.
I do. I'm overruling everyone. We're continuing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we got this is our magnum opus. This quintology of what's his fucking name? Damien Latigue, not Damien Latigue. Jean Pierre.
Well, his
whatever.
real name, yeah.
Yeah, the quintology. This is our Lord of the Rings. So hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.